So there I was, standing in the living room of the Liu family mansion, sweating bullets. And not just because it's June and hot enough to fry an egg on my forehead. I'm holding my awakening certificate like it's a death sentence. Which, honestly, it kinda is. Right there in big fat letters, Gunslinger. F rank. Bottom of the barrel. The absolute toilet of the profession rankings. See, ever since monsters started invading our world, regular guns became about as useful as throwing pillows at a tank. And the fancy spirit energy guns? One of those costs more than a normal family makes in 10 years. So yeah, being a gunslinger is basically the universe's way of saying, good luck, loser. Now, Liu Zhenxiong, Uncle Liu, the guy I've been calling Dad for 10 years, is sitting across from me on his fancy leather couch, puffing a cigar like some discount movie villain. This man literally promised my dying parents he'd treat me like his own kid. Spoiler alert, he did not. Lin Yue, he says, not even looking at me, you awakened as an F-rank gunslinger. The Liu family isn't a charity. Cool. Cool. My parents died saving your life. But sure, let's talk about resource allocation. Then his wife Wang Lan jumps in. Oh, Wang Lan. This woman has been waiting 10 years for this moment. She shoots up from the couch, like someone put a firecracker under her, and starts poking my arm with her bony finger. F-rank trash. We fed you for 10 years. My daughter awakened as an S-rank elemental saintess. You think she's gonna carry your dead weight forever? Ma'am, I literally just asked to speak. But okay, go off. And then there's Liu Manyu, the daughter. She walks up in her pretty white dress, glowing with spiritual energy like some kind of discount angel. She gives me this soft smile that's basically dripping with, I'm better than you, and we both know it. Lin Yue, awakening depends on talent. You can't force it. Don't blame my parents. Thanks for the TED Talk, princess. Real helpful. I tried to fight back. I reminded them my parents didn't even leave behind whole bodies because they were too busy saving Uncle Liu's life. You know what he did? Slammed the table and told me to stop living off dead people's favors. Then Wang Lan, and I swear I'm not making this up, literally threw cash at my feet. 2,000 yuan. Like I'm a stray dog getting tossed scraps. Take it and disappear before sunrise. Don't let me see your unlucky face again. I looked at that money on the floor. I looked at these three people. Uncle Liu turning away like a coward. Wang Lan looking at me like I'm something stuck to her shoe. Manyu playing with her glowing fingers, smirking like she just won the lottery. Which, honestly, genetically speaking, she kind of did. 10 years of walking on eggshells. 10 years of swallowing insults. 10 years of telling myself, they'll remember what my parents did. All of it, shattered. I was about 2 seconds away from a full emotional breakdown when suddenly my brain went ding. I'm sorry, what? Hold on. You're telling me that getting absolutely destroyed emotionally by my fake family was the secret activation condition for a cheat system? This whole time, all I needed was to hit rock bottom? I could have done that years ago. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it was going to punch through my ribs. All that despair? Gone. Evaporated. Replaced by the warm, fuzzy feeling of cosmic overcompensation. Wang Lan kicked the money at me again. What are you standing there for? Think it's not enough? I looked at her with the calmest eyes I've ever had. Calm like a man who just found a loaded cheat code in the game of life. Keep your money. Every single yuan. I'll remember the 10 years you raised me. But my parents' life-saving debt? You'll never pay that off. Then I turned around and walked out. Spine straight. Head high. Not one look back. Behind me, Wang Lan was screaming about how I'd starve on the streets. Manyu was monologuing about how talent is everything in the awakened world. Uncle Liu was probably stress-smoking his cigar down to a nub. I stepped outside. The night breeze hit my face. Stars everywhere. And for the first time in 10 years, I felt genuinely free. Gunslinger is a trash profession. I looked up at the sky and smiled. The kind of smile that says, you have no idea what's coming. System. Draw. The moment I said, system, draw, a giant glowing wheel exploded out of nowhere like the world's most illegal game show. And oh boy, this wheel. It was loaded. Hundreds of mythical-grade passive skills spinning around. Weakness gaze, infinite firepower, gun mastery. Names so cool, I literally forgot to breathe. In this world, skills go from normal to advanced to epic to legendary to mythical. Legendary skills are already rarer than a polite person at a DMV. Mythical? Those only exist in bedtime stories. And here I am with a whole wheel of them. It spins. Faster. Faster. Everything becomes a blur of golden light, and then, boom. I had to read it 3 times because my brain refused to process it. Let me break this down for you. The entire reason gunslingers are considered garbage is because spirit energy bullets cost a fortune. 10 credits PR bullet. One small monster fight eats through thousands of rounds. That's tens of thousands of credits gone. Poof. Just like that. Normal families can't afford it. Nobody can afford it. But me? I just got infinite spirit energy bullets. For free. Forever. I could turn a rusty water gun into a weapon of mass destruction. The biggest chain holding every gunslinger down just snapped off my wrist like a cheap bracelet. I needed a gun. Right now? Immediately. Yesterday. I spotted a 24-hour internet cafe and rushed in. See, in our country civilians can't own guns, but awakened people can buy weapons through the official Awaken Mall online. Even trash-tier gunslingers like me get access. I logged in, opened the weapons page, and my excitement died faster than my social life. The cheapest spirit energy rifle? 20,000 credits. Machine guns? Millions. I scrolled all the way to the bottom of the barrel and found the Nova P1, a basic starter pistol. Black, ugly, simple. Can theoretically handle monsters below level 10. Price, 10,000 credits. I checked my bank account. Balance, 325 credits. 325 credits. 10,000 minus 325 equals. You're broke, idiot. I sat there doing desperate math. Get a restaurant job? 20 credits an hour, 10 hours a day. That's 200 daily. I'd need 50 days. Go borrow money. From who? I'm an orphan F-rank nobody. I literally started considering selling a kidney on the black market. Then, like the universe finally felt bad for bullying me, a blood-red pop-up ad appeared on screen. Urgent hiring. West City Goblin Sewer Cleaners needed. 5,000 credits guaranteed per run. The Goblin Sewer. I remembered this from school. It's the lowest-ranked F-class dungeon in the city, so pathetic it's literally nicknamed. The place even dogs won't go. The goblins inside are level 1 to 3. No loot worth mentioning. No self-respecting awakened person would touch it. Cleaners are basically the janitors. You go in after the real fighters finish, drag out goblin corpses, and deal with any stragglers. Dirty, disgusting, dangerous, and only desperate people sign up. But I saw those numbers. 2 runs equals 10,000 credits equals 1 Nova P1 equals me testing my broken cheat skill. I filled out the application so fast my fingers almost caught fire. 30 seconds later, my phone rang. Lin Yue, gruff voice. 0 patience. Yes. West City Abandoned Factory, Gate 3. Half an hour. Don't be late. Click. I grabbed my jacket and sprinted. The abandoned factory was creepy as hell. Broken streetlights, dead silence, the whole horror movie starter pack. At Gate 3, I found my new boss, Li Yue. Picture this. Greasy black tank top, tiger tattoo on his arm, cigarette dangling from his mouth, face that looks like it was assembled from spare parts. Charming fellow. He looked me up and down, saw my school uniform, and laughed. You're a freshly awakened gunslinger? Uffed. That job's basically useless. But hey, so is this work. You two are a perfect match. Buddy, after the Liu family roasted me for an hour straight, your insults hit like a gentle breeze. He stared at me waiting for a reaction. I just stared back. He got uncomfortable first. Good. Follow me. Everyone's already down there. Stop wasting time. He yanked open an iron plate in the ground, and, oh sweet mother of mercy, the smell. It hit me like a physical wall. Pure, concentrated, award-winning stench. Rotting things mixed with sewage mixed with regret. We went down these nearly vertical stairs into ankle-deep mystery liquid that I chose to believe was just water. Narrator voice. It was not just water. Even a dog would shake its head and leave, I thought. After a few minutes we reached an underground chamber where 4 guys in gray jumpsuits were squatting around, smoking like their lives depended on it. Li Yue introduced me. New guy? Lin Yue. Just awakened today. Gunslinger. A tall skinny one looked up and burst out laughing. Where'd you find this kid? He's gonna pee himself the second he sees a monster. A short fat one joined in. A gunslinger with no money is worse than us garbage collectors. They all cracked up. Real comedy club down here in the literal sewer. I said nothing. Just looked at them with the emotional range of a brick wall. Li Yue eventually told everyone to shut up and tossed me a wrinkled gray jumpsuit and a black shotgun. Standard SRS shotgun. Company-issued piece of junk. Good for scaring things, not killing them. You're on perimeter watch today. 5 shells in there. Make 'em count, because there's no refills. The cold metal landed in my hands and something happened. My heart jumped. My fingers wrapped around the grip like they were born to be there. The weight, the curves, the worn wooden stock, everything fit perfectly. Like this gun had been waiting for me. Like it was always supposed to be part of my body. 5 shells, huh? I almost smiled. They have no idea those 5 shells are about to become infinite. Click-clack. My hands racked the shotgun before my brain even told them to. Pure instinct. Like I'd been doing this in a past life. And the second that shell chambered, ding. Weapon detected. SRS shotgun, no grade. Mythical passive, infinite magazine, activated. Current ammo. Infinity, standard shells auto-converted to spirit energy shells. That little infinity symbol? Most beautiful thing I've ever seen. My regular garbage pellets just got a free upgrade to magical death balls. I was gripping that shotgun so hard my knuckles went white, trembling like a chihuahua on espresso. Except from pure, unfiltered joy. What are you grinning about, idiot? Get changed. We're working. Li Yue snapped at me. Right. Play it cool, Lin Yue. Don't let them know you just became the most broken F rank in history. I threw on the jumpsuit and followed everyone deeper into the sewer. And let me tell you, deeper is not a direction you ever want to go in a sewer. The lights got dimmer, the smell got worse, and the mystery ankle soup got thicker. My nose was basically filing a restraining order against the rest of my body. We reached an open area with 8 or 9 goblin corpses scattered around, leftovers from some awakened team's earlier run, already bloated and turning black. Lovely. Get to work, Li Yue barked. The guys pulled out burlap sacks and started stuffing goblins in like the world's worst Christmas elves. Meanwhile, I was on guard duty, walking the perimeter, shotgun ready, scanning every dark corner. Then I heard it. Scree. 3 massive green shapes launched out of the shadows. Now, in textbooks, goblins are described as knee-high little gremlins. Annoying, but manageable. These things were human-sized, jacked like they'd been hitting the sewer gym, swinging rusty clubs covered in nails, with bloodshot red eyes full of murder and hunger. What the? These are goblins. My eye literally twitched. Li Yue went white as a ghost. 3 of them. Here's the thing about our little cleaning crew. Most of these guys aren't even awakened. The one awakened person among them, the tall skinny guy, has the legendary profession of poop scooper. Yes, his awakened ability is scooping waste faster than normal people. Devastating combat power, 0. On a good day, these guys can gang up on 1 injured goblin, 3 healthy ones. That's a death sentence. The fastest goblin charged straight at this gray-haired old worker. The poor man's legs gave out, and he just sat down in the sewage, closed his eyes, and accepted death. Full, it's been a good life, mode. Not on my watch. Boom. The shotgun kicked like a mule, and the sound bounced off every wall in the tunnel. A spray of steel pellets wrapped in beautiful blue spirit energy slammed into the goblin's stomach and blew a hole clean through it. Everyone froze. Li Yue's cigarette almost fell out of his mouth. This junky company-issued shotgun that couldn't hurt a pigeon 5 minutes ago just obliterated a monster's midsection. The same gun, except now my infinite ammo passive was turning every shell into a spirit energy round. The old worker opened his eyes, saw that the new kid had just saved his life, and scrambled out of the sewage so fast he invented a new swimming technique. But the other 2 goblins were already charging. Li Yue did what any brave leader would do. He screamed, "Run," and sprinted away first. Employee of the Year material right there. Everyone else followed, tripping over each other, abandoning the corpse bags, full panic stampede. The goblins had aggro on me, which was actually convenient for their escape plan. Kid, don't try to fight. Come with us, the old worker yelled back as he ran. In his mind, I had 1 gun with 5 shells. Once those were gone, I was dead meat. If only he knew. I planted my feet, racked the slide, and aimed at the wounded goblin. Boom. Point blank. Half its body disintegrated. It flopped into the sewage, twitched twice, and checked out permanently. Forget about him. He wants to die. That's his problem. The poop scooper grabbed the old man and dragged him away. Nobody looked back. In their heads, I was already writing my obituary. Meanwhile, the last two goblins were furious. Their buddy just became modern art, and they wanted revenge. They split left and right and rushed me from both sides. I sidestepped, kept my distance, and fell into a rhythm. Click-clack, boom, click-clack, boom. Spirit energy pellets sprayed out in wide arcs. These two goblins were running side by side, basically begging to get hit. Nowhere to dodge. 3 more shots, and they both looked like Swiss cheese. Down they went. Sure, a pump-action shotgun that needs racking after every shot isn't exactly rapid fire. But when you have infinite AMMO and every single shell is magically supercharged, doesn't matter. This rusty piece of junk became a monster-deleting machine in my hands. 5 shots. 3 goblins. Done. My heart was hammering. Not from fear. From the absolute rush. This is what power tastes like. Standing over 3 dead monsters in a sewer, ankle-deep in filth, holding a shotgun that the company probably found in a dumpster. I cracked open the chamber just to check. Full. Every slot loaded. Golden shells sitting pretty like nothing happened. I couldn't help but grin. Infinite magazine. You beautiful, beautiful cheat. Click-clack. Chambered another round. Ready for more. Meanwhile, upstairs, my coworkers were having a full-blown group panic attack. They'd slammed the iron plate shut and collapsed on the ground like a pile of laundry. Just wheezing, sweating, and thanking every god they could think of. That kid. He's dead, right? The skinny guy asked, still shaking. Duh. 5 shells against 3 goblins. Math ain't mathing. The chubby one snapped. Old Wong, the guy I saved, let out a long sigh. Poor kid. So young. What a waste. Li Hu punched a wall. This whole night is cursed. So? Do we go back in, boss? Go back? You want to die? We're done. Everyone go home. Wait for a real awakened team tomorrow. And just like that, they all scurried away into the night. 1 dead rookie in the sewers? Just another Tuesday. Not worth the paperwork. Except, plot twist, I was very much not dead. I was standing over 3 goblin corpses, grinning at my system panel like a maniac. 15 experience points already banked. Not a lot, but hey, baby steps. I looked deeper into the tunnel. More shrieks echoing from the darkness. More goblins hiding in there. Well, I thought, I'm already ankle-deep in sewage. Might as well get my money's worth. I picked up a dropped flashlight, pressed my back against the wall, and started creeping deeper. Look, I have infinite ammo, not infinite health. If 10 goblins jumped me at once, I'd still become a human chew toy. So, careful mode activated. 2 goblins popped out from a corner, startled by my flashlight. They barely had time to bare their fangs before. Click-clack boom, click-clack boom, both face down in the muck. And then I just kept going. For the next 10 minutes, that sewer became my personal shooting gallery. Every dark corner, every side tunnel, goblins popping out like the world's ugliest whack-a-mole game. And I was the hammer. 15 goblins total. Turns out the awakened team that cleared this place during the day was a bunch of slackers. They killed the obvious ones near the entrance, decided the loot wasn't worth the smell, and clocked out early. Lazy heroes, meet grateful janitor. Also lucky for me, the dungeon's monitoring system broke ages ago. The cleaning company had no idea how many goblins were actually still crawling around down here. Their loss, my EXP buffet. Then, at 80 experience points, the sound changed. Heavy footsteps. Really heavy. The kind that makes puddles ripple like a dinosaur movie. A shadow emerged from the darkness. This thing was twice the size of a regular goblin, muscles stacked on muscles, carrying a machete that gleamed like it had opinions about my continued existence. Level 2 Goblin Warrior. The mini-boss of the trash dungeon. Stronger. Tougher. Slightly slower though, small mercy. I raised my shotgun. It raised its machete. We had a moment. Then I shot first because I'm not an idiot. Boom. Pellets hit its lower half. Splashed some water. Did basically nothing. Oh come on. This garbage shotgun's effective range was shorter than my patience. The Goblin Warrior roared and charged, machete overhead, full berserker mode. Retreat? Nah. I ran toward it. Sounds insane, right? But here's the thing. Shotgun damage gets exponentially better the closer you are. And with infinite ammo, I could keep shooting while closing the distance. It's not bravery, it's math. Click-clack boom. Click-clack boom. Click-clack boom. Fire lighting up the dark tunnel like a strobe light. each shot hitting harder as I got closer. The goblin was trying to push through my wall of pellets like it was running into a hurricane. 20 meters. 15. 10. The gun barrel was getting so hot I could probably cook breakfast on it. At 5 meters, practically kissing distance, I gave it the full blast right in the face. Half its head just left, departed, went to goblin heaven. It toppled into the sewage with a splash that I felt in my soul and my shoes. 10 more points to level up. 10 points away from my second mythical skill draw. I was practically vibrating with excitement. Clang. Clang. 2 more goblin warriors squeezed out of a narrow tunnel ahead, machetes scraping the walls, red eyes locking onto me like twin targeting systems. Most people would panic. I smiled. Perfect timing, gentlemen. 10 meters away. Ideal shotgun range. It's like they wanted to die efficiently. Boom. First shot ripped open the front one's chest like a zipper. Boom. Second shot punched clean through it. Dead before it hit the ground. Swung the barrel to the second one. Boom. Boom. Green blood and white brain matter painted the ceiling. Its head basically ceased to exist as a concept. Timber. For shots. 2 goblin warriors. Instant delivery to the afterlife. Congratulations. Level up to LV2. You have earned 1 god-tier passive skill draw. Draw now, standing in a sewer, covered in goblin splatter, shoes ruined beyond salvation, shotgun barrel hot enough to brand cattle. And I've never been happier in my entire life. Draw. Now. The golden wheel exploded into existence again, hundreds of mythical skills spinning in a blinding tornado of light. Round 2, baby. Let's see what the cosmic slot machine has for me this time. The wheel spun. My heart stopped. The pointer slowed down. Slowed. And locked. Congratulations. Mythical passive skill. Gun extension. I forgot how to breathe for a solid 5 seconds. Let me do some quick napkin math here. My crappy shotgun has a 25-meter effective range. Kill 100 things? Range doubles. Kill 1,000. I'm sniping people from the next zip code. With a shotgun. This rusty museum piece in my hands just got a growth plan. Given enough corpses, it'll eventually outrange actual sniper rifles. A shotgun. Sniping. From hundreds of meters away. The game devs clearly did not playtest this build. I looked into the darkness ahead. Goblin screeches echoing from every direction. And all I could think was, this isn't a death trap. This is a buffet. Meanwhile, up on the surface, my beloved ex-co-workers were having dinner in their little shed. Rock-hard bread rolls and salty pickled vegetables, living the dream. They'd been hearing gunshots for a while, but kept brushing it off. Who's crazy enough to farm goblins at this hour? The chubby guy grumbled. Must be some awakened squad prepping for tomorrow's exam. Li Yue declared with total confidence. Old Wong paused mid-chew. What if? It's that kid? He was a gunslinger after all. Impossible. The skinny one didn't even hesitate. 5 bullets? The goblins have already turned him into a calcium supplement. Li Yue shut down the conversation and told everyone to eat faster because they'd have to go collect bodies tomorrow. But the gunshots kept coming. Steady. Rhythmic. Relentless. Way too organized for some rookie squad spraying and praying. Li Yue's eyebrow twitched. He told himself it was definitely another team. Definitely. 100%. Absolutely not the dead kid with the trash profession. He shoved the rest of his bread in his mouth and tried very hard not to think about it. Back in MY sewer. Yeah, it's my sewer now. I was having the time of my life. After clearing those 3 level 2 goblin warriors, everything deeper in was level 1 trash mobs. Basically walking experience piñatas. 5 more goblins rushed out of the dark, screeching and waving their rusty nail clubs like the world's worst welcome committee. My eyes had fully adjusted to the darkness by now. I could see moss on the walls. I could see individual drops of gross liquid falling from the ceiling. I could see these idiots coming from a mile away. Welcome, experience packages. Single file, please. I didn't fire immediately. Instead, I counted the distance. 20 meters. 17. 15 now. Boom. Headshot. The goblin's skull popped like a green watermelon. Its body kept running 2 more steps on pure momentum before gravity remembered its job. See that? Every kill makes the next kill easier. This is the snowball from hell. The other 4 rushed into close range. I went full speed, racking and firing so fast my arms were basically a blur. Click-clack boom. Click-clack boom. 2 more heads exploded like party balloons filled with green paint. The remaining two actually hesitated. I saw fear in a goblin's eyes for the first time. But hunger overrode their survival instincts, and they charged anyway. Click-clack boom. 3 down. 1 left, and this smart little guy turned tail and tried to run. Oh no you don't. You're not an experience point that got away. Click-clack boom. Pellets went in through the back of its skull and came out the front. It skidded face first into the sewage. 5 for 5. Headshots only. Chef's kiss. I was sweating pretty hard at this point. Not from fear, from the sheer volume of shooting. This bargain bin shotgun was never designed for this kind of abuse. The barrel was glowing red like a space heater. Any more, and it might literally explode in my hands, which would be a really embarrassing way to die after surviving everything else tonight. Then I looked down at the disgusting black sewage at my feet. Gross. Absolutely vile. Perfect. I dunked the glowing barrel straight into the muck. TSSSSSSSSSS. A cloud of white steam erupted like I was forging a legendary sword, except instead of a mountain spring, I was using goblin toilet water. But hey, it worked beautifully. Temperature dropped, no water got inside the mechanism, and my shotgun lived to fight another round. Redneck engineering at its finest. While the gun cooled, I caught my breath and looked deeper into the tunnel. More screeches. More shadows. More walking EXP bags waiting to donate to my cause. The night was young. I had infinite bullets, an ever-growing range, and a sewer full of monsters too stupid to run. Only one thing on the to-do list. Kill, level up, stack range, repeat. Until this shotgun can hit things in other countries. Gun cooled down. Time to go deeper. More goblins showed up almost immediately, including 2 beefy level 2 warriors mixed in with the regular ones. At this point my reload technique was so smooth, it was basically a musical instrument. Click-clack-boom had become my personal theme song. 2 shots per warrior. Clean. Efficient. Like I'd been doing this my whole life instead of, 3 hours. Then I hit the jackpot. A wide-open room with about a dozen goblins fighting over a pile of mystery meat. 2 warriors among them. I hid behind a corner, pointed my flashlight directly into the middle of the crowd, and turned it on. Every single goblin looked up at once. 12 pairs of red eyes, all staring at me. Surprise, idiots. The first warrior charged. 2 shots, chest, then throat. Done. Second warrior went berserk. 2 more shots. Also done. The remaining 10 level 1 goblins came at me in a green tidal wave. I just walked backwards and kept shooting. Calmly. Methodically. Like mowing a lawn. Except the grass screams and has teeth. Click-clack-boom. 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 Kill notifications flooding my vision like the world's most violent spam folder. Last goblin dropped. And then, level up to LV3. Gun extension, 36% total. Effective range, 34 meters. New God tier passive draw available. Draw now. Oh, absolutely draw now. Draw. Golden wheel. Blinding light. Pointer slowing down. And, congratulations. Mythical passive. Damage amplification. Damage amplification. Mythical every kill increases your equipped weapon's damage by 1%. Stacks infinitely. No cap. Ever. I think my soul left my body for a second. Let me recap my build real quick. Skill 1. Infinite AMMO. Skill 2. Infinite range. Skill 3. Infinite damage. Every single weakness a gunslinger has. Gone. Obliterated. Deleted from the conversation. And not just fixed. Fixed with an O upper limit. The more I kill, the stronger I get. Forever. It's a snowball rolling downhill except the hill has no bottom and the snowball is made of nuclear warheads. Give me a good weapon and a few thousand kills, and I could literally shoot a hole in the sky. I looked at the goblins still scurrying around in the deeper tunnels. They used to be monsters. Now they were walking stat boosts with legs. Little green gift bags full of range percentage and damage percentage, just waiting to be unwrapped. With my shotgun. For the next 30 minutes, I went on what can only be described as an industrial-scale goblin recycling program. By the end, gun extension at 71%, damage amplification at 35%. My trash shotgun's range had gone from 25 meters to nearly 43 meters, and its damage was up by a third. This thing was evolving in real time. A junk weapon having a character arc. Then I reached the bottom. A massive circular chamber, lit by glowing magic stones in the walls. And right in the center, with its back to me, was the biggest goblin I'd ever seen. 2.5 humans tall. Muscles on top of muscles on top of more muscles. Black horn helmet on its head. Rusty battle axe in its grip. Currently eating something I chose not to identify. Level 3 Goblin Commander. The boss of this dungeon. I slowed my breathing and crept closer. 35 meters. Just inside my boosted range. I aimed at the back of its skull and pulled the trigger. Boom. The pellets smashed into its head and sent the horned helmet flying across the room like a frisbee. The thing roared, turned around, blood running down its face, scalp torn open, eyes burning with pure rage. And then, it spoke. Human, you killed my people. I will tear you apart. Oh great. A talking goblin. That's not terrifying at all. It charged at me with that giant axe, and I opened fire. Continuous. Relentless. Click-clack boom. Click-clack boom. Click-clack boom. Pellets hammered its body over and over. But this thing was tough. Each hit only left shallow wounds on its thick hide, like throwing rocks at a truck. The impact staggered it, though. Every shot made it flinch and lose momentum. When it got within 10 meters, I switched tactics. Forget the head. This thing's skull was basically armor-plated. Instead, I aimed low. Kneecaps. Boom. Right knee. The boss stumbled. Boom. 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 Same knee. 3 more times. Now it was limping badly. The commander went absolutely nuclear with rage, swinging its axe wildly and chasing me with everything it had. But that's the beautiful thing about destroying someone's knee. The angrier they get, the harder they try to run, the worse the injury gets. It was basically defeating itself. I just kept backing up and shooting. Patient. Calm. Like a matador. Except instead of a cape, I had a shotgun with infinite ammo, and instead of grace, I had sewage up to my ankles. 2 minutes of this, and its left leg was completely gone as a functioning body part. It stumbled. Lost balance. And in that one beautiful moment of vulnerability, I raised the barrel to its forehead. No helmet this time. Big guy. Boom. Skull cracked open like an egg. The massive body lurched forward and face-planted into the sewage with a splash that probably registered on seismographs. The dungeon boss, ladies and gentlemen, defeated by a level 3 rookie with a company-issued dumpster shotgun, ankle-deep in the worst-smelling liquid known to mankind. Mom, Dad, your boy's doing just fine. The boss hit the ground, and my brain exploded with notifications. Level 4. Gun extension at 72%. Damage amplification at 36%. And, you guessed it, another spin on the golden wheel of broken abilities. Draw. The will did its thing. Spin, spin, spin. Slow. Slower. Stop. Mythical passive. Spirit energy penetration. All shots now pierce through targets and completely ignore defense. I need a moment. Pierce. Through. Targets. Ignore. Defense. So now, if a bunch of goblins line up to charge me, which they love doing, my pellets go through the first one, into the second one, into the third one. Like a kebab made of violence. And it doesn't matter how thick their skin is, how much armor they're wearing, nothing. My bullets treat defense like a suggestion. Let me check my notes here. Infinite ammo. Infinite range. Infinite damage scaling. And now armor-piercing penetration on everything. I'm starting to feel like the universe is apologizing for the first 18 years of my life. Apology accepted. While I was standing there having a religious experience, I noticed something glowing green inside the boss's wrecked chest. I kicked away some chunks of goblin meat. Appetizing, I know, and found a crystal the size of my fist. A Goblin Commander magic core. Worth 15,000 credits. 15,000. From one ugly green corpse. I was practically hugging this disgusting rock. I remembered that semi-automatic shotgun I saw in the online store, the Storm K2. 3 times better than my current junk in every way. Price tag, 30,000 credits. With this magic core plus tonight's cleaning wages, I was getting close. Very close. I pocketed the core like it was made of diamonds and started the worst part of the night, cleanup duty. For the next few hours, I dragged goblin bodies into bags. One by one. All of them. The smell was so bad I think my nose actually gave up and quit halfway through. But every corpse was money. Level 1 goblins, 200 credits each. Level 2 warriors, 1,000 each. Final body count, 111 goblins. 8 warriors. 1 commander boss. Just the small fry alone was worth over 30,000 credits. Add the magic core, This one night in a sewer earned me close to 50,000. The Storm K2 wasn't a dream anymore. It was a shopping list item. By dawn, I dragged every single bag to the entrance. Over 100 stuffed sacks piled up like the world's most disturbing mountain. Then the iron plate scraped open above me. Sunlight poured in. And there they were, Lin Yue and his crew, coming back to collect the body of that dead rookie. The chubby guy spotted me first. His cigarette literally fell out of his mouth. What the, he's alive? They all leaned in and saw me standing casually in front of Mount Goblin Corpse, looking like I'd just finished a long shift at the world's worst factory. 120 goblin bodies, I said, completely flat. 8 level 2 warriors. I kicked the heaviest bag at my feet. And this one's the level 3 commander. Lin Yue walked down the stairs like a zombie, opened a bag, and started counting. 1, 2, 3. His hands were shaking more with every body. 120. All there. Where's the awakened squad that came through? He stammered. What squad? The one shooting all night. We heard the gunfire. I pointed at myself. That was me. You? All of them. In perfect unison. Same pitch. Same disbelief. Could have been a choir. Yeah? How else do you think I survived? Their brains short-circuited. One guy? One garbage shotgun. 5 bullets that should have run out after 5 shots. 111 kills plus a dungeon boss. The math wasn't mathing for them. They decided I must have hidden in a corner while some mystery squad did all the killing. Everyone except Old Wong, who kept quiet and stared at his shoes. He knew better, but he wasn't about to argue with the group. Whatever. I didn't care what they believed. I cared about getting paid. Lin Yue, just the small fry comes to 30,000 credits. Not counting the commander. So about my pay, something changed on Lin Yue's face. The shock melted away and I watched, almost in slow motion, as greed crawled into his eyes like a rat entering a drainpipe. 30,000 credits. To a bottom feeder like him, that was a fortune. And I was just a naive student, right? Easy to scam. He lit a cigarette with theatrical slowness. Well, Lin Yue, here's the thing. Temp workers with no proper registration only get 30%. But since you worked hard last night, I'll round up. How about 3,000 credits? That's generous for a student, right? Your buddy Lin Yue taking care of you. His goons burst out laughing, elbowing each other, looking at me like I was a puppy that just learned a trick. 3,000. Out of 30,000. The guaranteed minimum was 5,000, and this clown was offering me 3. Old Wong turned his head away. He wanted to speak up. I could see his lips moving, but he didn't dare. Crossing Lin Yue meant losing his job, or his teeth, or both. I stood there quiet. No yelling, no arguing, no expression at all. Just still. And something about that stillness made Lin Yue's smile flicker. I saw the hair on his arm stand up. Good instinct, buddy. 3,000? I repeated softly, like I was tasting the words. Then I let out the smallest, quietest laugh. It was barely a sound, but every single person in that tunnel stopped breathing. The laughing died instantly, like someone yanked the power cord on a speaker. Lin Yue, my voice was calm. Flat. The kind of calm that makes people check where the exits are. Do you think I'm easy to bully? Lin Yue laughed in my face. You're a broke student. An F-rank piece of trash. I'm bullying you right now. What are you going to do about it? His buddies piled on. Be grateful you even got this job. 3,000 is generous, you ungrateful brat. Lin Yue puffed up like a greasy balloon. Take your 3,000 and get lost. One more word and I'll. He didn't finish that sentence. Click-clack. The sound of a shotgun chambering around has a magical effect on conversations. Everyone shuts up instantly. I raised the barrel, nice and slow, until that big black hole was pointing right between Lin Yue's eyebrows. So what do you think I can do to you? My voice was quiet, almost friendly, and every drop of color drained from Lin Yue's face like someone pulled a plug. Why you can't kill people? This is Xinjiang City. You wouldn't dare. His legs were shaking so hard his knees were having their own private earthquake. Kill you? I tilted my head. Who said anything about killing? I lowered the barrel to his hand and squeezed the trigger. Boom. His right hand, the greedy one that was about to pocket my money, separated from his wrist and went flying into the sewage. Just gone. Like a magic trick, except with more blood and screaming. Ah! My hand. My hand. Lin Yue hit the ground rolling, shrieking like a pig at a barbecue audition. Blood everywhere. The other workers? The skinny tough guy and the chubby loudmouth who were talking so much trash 5 seconds ago, both sitting in the sewage with wet pants. And I don't mean from the water. Old Wong just stood there, frozen, mouth open, no words coming out. I walked over to Li who, crouched down, and pulled a fat wallet from his pocket. Counted the cash right in front of everyone. 40,000 credits. 40,000. This cockroach had been skimming workers' wages for years, living like a king off other people's sweat and blood. 30,000 was mine. The extra 10,000? Call it a handling fee for the commander corpse. Seemed fair. You're dead. I have connections. This isn't over, Li Hu hissed through the pain. I raised the shotgun again, pointed it at his remaining hand. Want me to fix the other one too? No. Take it. Take everything. We're even. Even? That's more like it. I pocketed the wallet and walked out without looking back. Behind me, I could hear his crew finally rushing to help him. Should we call the cops? Cops? Awakened people can legally carry guns. He'll say it was an accidental discharge, and the police can't touch him. Smart man. Terrible person, but smart enough to know when he's outgunned. Literally. The Awakened Association building was a 32-story silver tower in the fanciest part of downtown. I walked through the glass doors and immediately felt like a raccoon that wandered into a 5-star hotel. The lobby was packed with Awakened professionals. Mages in fancy robes. Warriors carrying swords bigger than me. Archers, healers, all of them glowing with spiritual energy like walking nightlights. And then there was me. Faded school uniform. Mystery stains. Smelling like I'd been baptized in goblin toilet water. Carrying a shotgun that belonged in a museum. The whispers started immediately. Did that guy crawl out of a dumpster? Is that an SRS shotgun? My grandpa had one of those. Does it even fire anymore? He's not a gunslinger. He's a poop scooper who got lost. Comedy Club, round 2. I walked straight past all of them to the front desk. A woman in a tight black skirt greeted me with a professional smile that wavered exactly 1 millimeter when she got a whiff of Oda's sewer. Weapons sales, 3rd floor, she said, pointing to the escalator with slightly more urgency than necessary. 3rd floor, a massive showroom full of shiny weapons behind glass cases. I made a beeline for the gun section, and there she was. The Storm K2, semi-automatic. Black body glowing with faint spiritual energy. 12-round capacity. 50-meter range. And today, lucky me, it was on sale. Original price, 30,000. Today's special, 24,000. I'll take it. The sales guy, glasses, middle-aged, seen everything, looked at my outfit and his smile got that special flavor of, this kid can't afford lunch. Great choice, sir. We offer installment plans. Cash. I slapped Li Hu's wallet on the counter. The man's eyes went from pity to dollar signs so fast I think he got whiplash. His entire personality changed. Suddenly, I was his best friend, his favorite customer, the light of his retail life. Right away, sir. Excellent. But I wasn't done shopping. Also the Nova P1 pistol, a tactical suit, light armor, gun holster, and 2 trigger-activated signal tracking mines. The calculator was going crazy. Storm K2, 24,000. Nova P1, 10,000. Tactical suit, 2,000. Armor, 2,000. Mines, 1,000. Holster, 500. Grand total, 39,500 credits. I paid it all. In cash. Like a boss. A broke boss who now had a few hundred credits left, but still a boss. Sir, customers who spend over 30,000 get complimentary access to our restroom, showers, and lunch. Best words ever spoken. 20 minutes later, I walked out of that restroom and barely recognized myself in the reflection. Full black tactical suit hugging every muscle. Light armor plates glowing on my chest and back. Storm K2 slung across my back. Nova P1 holstered on my thigh. Black tactical helmet covering half my face. Tactical gloves on my hands. The smelly sewer rat was gone. Standing in his place was someone who looked like he'd walked out of a Special Forces recruitment poster. Both guns synced with my passives immediately. Infinite ammo on both. 72% bonus range. 36% bonus damage. These weapons were already stronger than anything their manufacturers intended. 40,000 credits, spent down to pocket change in under an hour. Irresponsible? Absolutely. Worth it? Look at me. Absolutely. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. Mr. Lin Yue? This is the Awakened Association. Reminder that the newcomer exam is today at 2 p.m. Xinjiang Sports Arena. Don't be late. The newcomer exam, where all the freshly awakened kids go to show off, compete for top university spots, and fight for resources. I grinned. Everyone else was going there to impress scouts and get into fancy schools. I was going there for one reason. A building full of monsters to kill means a building full of free experience, free range stacks, and free damage stacks. An all-you-can-eat leveling buffet, and I just got a brand new set of silverware. I hopped in a taxi looking like a completely different human being. Xinjiang Sports Arena, please. The driver glanced at me in the mirror, and his eyes went wide. Going to the newcomer exam? Nice gear, kid. Every screen on every building downtown was blasting the exam promo. Past geniuses slicing through monsters, dramatic music, the whole future heroes are born today vibe. Very inspiring. Very over the top. The arena was packed. Hundreds of freshly awakened kids buzzing around like nervous bees, comparing notes, flexing their abilities, forming teams. Heard the dungeon is mutant spider nest this year. Poisonous spiders everywhere. I'm a B-rank shield warrior. I can tank physical hits, but poison damage scares me. Relax, we've got a healer and plenty of antidotes. I filed that information away. Mutant spider nest, D-rank dungeon, levels 1 through 10. Final boss is a level 10 spider queen. For a level 4 like me, that should be suicidal. But then again, should be suicidal has been my entire evening, and I'm still standing. So let's keep the streak going. Then the crowd lost its collective mind. It's Lin Yue, S-rank elemental saintess. The #1 genius of Xinjiang. She's even prettier in person. My queen. And there she was. My former sister, white mage robes. Graceful walk. Angelic smile. 4 elite teammates trailing behind her like ducklings with attitudes. Lin Yue, this exam is just a formality for you. First place is guaranteed. Some yellow-haired simp was practically wagging his tail. Obviously. S-rank in Xinjiang. Who can even compete? A red-haired girl added. Nose so high in the air she'd drown if it rained. Lin Yue did her signature humble princess routine. Oh please, don't say that. Every awakened person has value. I'm just a little lucky, that's all. The crowd ate it up. So beautiful and humble. She's perfect. I almost gagged. Then her eyes drifted across the crowd and landed on me. Her smile froze like someone hit pause on a video. Hey, isn't that Lin Yue? The one who ran away from your house. Yellow hair spotted me instantly. An F-rank loser dares show up to the newcomer exam. Red hair's lip curled. He probably can't even beat a baby spider in there. Suddenly, everyone was staring at me. Again, the whispers started up like a broken record. F-rank gunslinger? That garbage profession still exists. He's probably hoping some blind team will take pity on him. Who'd want him? Pure dead weight. I ignored all of it and kept walking toward the inner arena. Wait, Lin Yue's voice. Sweet as candy, cold as a freezer. Lin Yue, what are you doing here? I stopped. Turned. Farming the dungeon for levels. What? Did you think I came for sightseeing? She put on her concerned face. The one she probably practiced in the mirror. I really think you should give up. A D-rank dungeon is way too hard for an F-rank. Gunslingers with no ammo supply who get caught in close range are more fragile than paper. She paused. A dramatic, generous pause. Because you lived with us for 10 years and were decent to me, there could have been a spot on my team. But unfortunately, my 4 friends here are all B-rank minimum, and I'm aiming for first place. So, sorry, the fake sympathy was so thick I could spread it on toast. You done? Huh? She blinked, not expecting that response. Cool. Bye. I turned to leave and stop right there. Oh, wonderful. Daddy Lu arrived. Lu Zhenxiong. Fancy suit. Power walk. A bunch of awakened association big shots trailing behind him like an entourage. The man was putting on a show. Dad. Lin Yue ran to him like a puppy. He marched up to me, face full of rehearsed disappointment. Lin Yue, last night I gave you a little advice and you just stormed out without a word. What? You got your feelings hurt so now you're here throwing a tantrum to prove yourself? I let out the driest laugh imaginable. Hypocrite. Lu Zhenxiong straightened his collar and shifted into Oscar-worthy acting mode. He cranked his volume up so the entire crowd could hear. Lin Yue, how can you talk like that? Last night, I was simply encouraging you to face reality. But you slammed the door and left. Your Aunt Wang, and I tried to stop you. Lin Yue even chased after you. 10 years we raised you. fed you, clothed you, put you through school. And this is how you repay us. The crowd turned on me instantly. Disgusted looks, head shakes, ungrateful brat, written across every face. Lin Yue jumped in right on cue. Lin Yue, I ran after you, but you'd already disappeared. I know your awakening result was bad and you're hurting, but my dad was only looking out for you. Please don't misunderstand him. Father-daughter tag team. Flawless coordination. They'd slapped in, ungrateful traitor, label on my forehead in under 30 seconds. I stood there, fists tightening. Last night's highlight reel played in my head. Wang Lan screaming that I was trash and throwing money at my feet. Lu Zhenxiong telling me useless people should know their place. Lin Yue's smirk dripping with superiority. That was less than 24 hours ago, and now they were standing here performing a soap opera about how much they cared about me. The audacity was almost impressive. Almost. I laughed. Quiet. Sharp. The kind of laugh that makes crowds go silent. I stepped forward and looked straight into Lu Zhenxiong's eyes. Who was it that called me a useless person yesterday? Who said my parents' life-saving debt was paid off after 10 years of feeding me? Who threw 2,000 yuan at my feet and told me to disappear before sunrise? His eyes flickered, just for a second, but he recovered fast. You're twisting my words. That was tough love. I was trying to motivate you. Motivate me? My voice went sharp enough to cut glass. Motivating me meant calling me a waste clinging to dead parents' favors. I pointed at my new gear, head to toe, every piece bought with my own blood and sweat. Well, mostly goblin blood. Everything I'm wearing, I paid for myself. Not 1 cent from the Liu family. And your so-called 10 years of kindness? You cashed that out when you threw me away like garbage last night. But my parents' debt, the one where they died to save your life, that's something you'll never repay. Every word I said landed like a slap across Lu Zhenxiong's face. The crowd went dead silent. You could hear a pin drop, or in this case, a reputation shatter. People started whispering immediately. He called the kid a waste who was clinging to dead parents' favors. Threw 2,000 yuan at him like he was a beggar. Wait, does the Liu family owe this kid's parents something? This is better than a TV drama. Lu Zhenxiong's face went through about 15 colors in 2 seconds. He did not expect the quiet doormat to air the dirty laundry in front of half of Xinjiang City. You're lying. He jabbed his finger at me, voice cracking. I never said that. Everyone, don't listen to his nonsense. Yes, I said some harsh things, but that's just tough love. F-rank gunslinger. Does anyone here think that has a future? I was trying to help him face reality. Honestly, decent performance. A solid 7 out of 10 on the fake sincerity scale. Some people in the crowd actually started buying it. Well, he's got a point. F-rank really is hopeless. Parents say harsh things when they're worried. Doesn't mean they don't care. Maybe Lin Yue is overreacting? Then Lin Yue activated her secret weapon, tears. Right on cue. Her eyes turned red and she squeezed out the most perfectly calculated droplets of sadness I've ever seen. Dad, please don't be upset. He's just confused right now. She turned to me with an expression so full of wounded innocence it belonged in a museum. Lin Yue, how can you say these things? Don't you remember how much Dad valued you? He even pulled strings to find you an office job at the association after your bad result. How can you make up lies to hurt the people who love you most? The crowd swung back toward them. Just like that. Father plays the heartbroken dad. Daughter plays the kind mediator. Tag team perfection. They'd done this before. Probably rehearsed it in the car. But here's the thing about liars. They always forget what they said behind closed doors. See, last night, after I awakened, I stood outside that door longer than they realized. And I heard everything Wang Lan said to Lu Zhenxiong. Our family awakened an F-rank waste. If people find out, they'll call us a charity for raising losers. How will Lin Yue face her rich friends? We raised him 10 years. That's more than enough. Now he's a bottomless pit. Are we supposed to feed him forever? And Lu Zhenxiong didn't push back. Not one word. Because the fire was already burning inside him. Wang Lan just lit the match. My smile got colder. And wider. Lu Zhenxiong, do you dare swear to heaven that you didn't say those things last night? Do you dare swear that you didn't kick me out because my F-rank result made me useless to you? His eye twitched violently. Swear? Of course he couldn't. You're twisting everything, was all he could manage. Twisting? Then let me ask you something very simple. I stepped closer. Eyes locked on his. My parents' debt. How exactly did you repay it? I raised you for 10 years. fed and clothed you. Isn't that enough? Enough? My voice boomed across the entire lobby like thunder. Not even close. I turned to the crowd. Every confused face. Every judgmental eye. Every person who'd been ping-ponging between believing me and believing him. I gave them the truth. All of it. 10 years ago, who dragged this man out of a monster's claws at the cost of their own lives. Who traded 2 lives for his one. My parents. They died so Lu Zhenxiong could live. That's his dead people's favors. 10 years. He used the resources my parents earned with their blood to climb the ranks. Became an association executive. Lives in a mansion. Gets respect everywhere he goes. And me? Their only son? I spent 10 years in his house being side-eyed by his wife, mocked by his daughter, treated like a stray dog they were too embarrassed to kick out. And the moment I awakened a low-rank profession. The moment I stopped being potentially useful, I became a waste clinging to dead people's favors. Thrown out with 2,000 yuan like garbage. So tell me, Lu Zhenxiong, was raising me your generosity? Or was it the cheapest possible payment for the 2 lives that bought yours? The arena went so quiet I could hear my own heartbeat. Every single face in that crowd was frozen, jaws hanging open, eyes the size of dinner plates. The truth hit them all at once. Lin Yue's parents died, saving Lu Zhenxiong. The Lu family didn't adopt him out of kindness. They owed him 2 lives for 1. That's not charity. That's a debt that can never be fully repaid. And everything Lu Zhenxiong just performed? The concerned father act? The tears from Manyu? All fake. Every word. Every gesture. The looks aimed at the Lu family changed instantly. Gone was the admiration. Gone was the respect. Replaced by disgust, suspicion, and the very specific expression people make when they realize they've been watching a con artist work. Lu Zhenxiong was destroyed. He looked like a man standing naked in a spotlight, every lie peeled away, every secret exposed. His precious reputation, the thing he cared about more than anything, more than my parents' sacrifice, more than an orphaned kid's well-being, ripped to shreds in public. You're making baseless accusations. His voice was a dry croak. There were circumstances. It wasn't like that. Oh, circumstances, I smiled. Like what? That my parents weren't strong enough and got themselves killed? Or that you deliberately used them as meat shields? I didn't. He was practically screaming now, veins bulging on his forehead. Manyu had gone white as paper. This was the family's deepest secret, the one she'd been told to never mention. In the version she grew up hearing, my parents' death was an accident, and taking me in was pure generosity. Now that pretty story was being torn apart in front of everyone who'd ever admired her, and she had absolutely no idea how to handle it. Lin Yue, that's enough, she shrieked. Why do you have to drag up the past? We raised you for 10 years. Doesn't that count for anything? Why are you so determined to destroy our family's reputation? I laughed. A real laugh. The kind that comes from a place so deep it's half grief and half fury. Your reputation? When you threw me out at midnight, were you thinking about your reputation then? When your whole family sat on that couch enjoying everything my dead parents paid for while calling me a waste and a jinx, did you think about what would happen today? Manyu dropped the act. The saint routine makes me physically sick. She flinched like I'd slapped her. Right then, a booming voice cut through the tension. Silence. The newcomer exam begins now. All participants, proceed to the inner arena immediately. An association official in uniform, high-ranking badge on his chest. His eyes swept over the scene, paused on Lu Zhenxiong's executive pin for exactly half a second, and the look he gave was unmistakable. I heard everything, and we'll be discussing this later. Lu Zhenxiong grabbed onto that interruption like a drowning man grabs a life preserver. He shot me one last venomous glare and hissed, "This isn't over, Lin Yue." Then he practically sprinted away, dragging ghost white Manyu and her shell-shocked teammates with him. I watched them go. The moment I decided to say all of that out loud, I knew it meant one thing. Total, permanent, irreversible separation from the Lu family. No more pretending. No more obligations. No more, Uncle Lu, just a debt they'll never pay, and a reckoning that's only just begun. I took a deep breath, shoved all my emotions into a box, and walked toward the inner arena. Got about 2 steps before the official who'd broken up the drama blocked my path. Student, hold on. He looked me over. Check my contestant number. Frowned. You're Lin Yue? F-rank gunslinger? I nodded. I'm Zhou Zheng. chief examiner for today's test. I heard most of what happened out there. He paused, choosing his words carefully. The association will investigate Executive Liu Xiong. But right now, during exam hours, I need you to keep personal grudges separate. And don't do anything reckless with your own life. Translation: I think you're a suicidal teenager rage entering a dungeon to prove a point, and I'd rather not do the paperwork when you die. Fair assumption. Wrong, but fair. I know my priorities, I said. He stared into my eyes for a moment, and something in his expression shifted. Like he was expecting a crying, emotional mess, and instead got whatever I am now. A guy who spent last night turning 100 goblins into confetti and is honestly just excited about the free experience points waiting inside. Good. Go find your assigned area. Inside, the arena was massive. Thousands of young awakened kids packed under a giant dome, buzzing with nervous energy. Teams huddled together whispering tactics. Weapons and armor glowing everywhere. It looked like a fantasy convention where everyone was actually dangerous. My assigned waiting area was a corner, the sad corner, where all the D rank and below kids sat looking like they'd already accepted their fate. Compared to the shiny elite squads across the arena, we looked like the discount clearance section of a department store. And then there was me, the only person sitting alone. See, at team-based exams like this, being solo means one of two things. Either you're so powerful you don't need anyone, or you're so pathetic nobody wants you. The F-rank Gunslinger badge on my chest made it pretty clear which category everyone assumed. Is that guy here to sightsee? He's gonna solo the spider nest? The spiders will eat him down to the leg hair. Poor bastard won't last 3 minutes in there. I ignored all of it, found my corner, sat down, and closed my eyes. Mentally checked my inventory. 1 shiny new Storm K2 semi-auto shotgun, 1 Nova P1 pistol, and Old Faithful, the SRS Junkyard Special that had already killed over 100 monsters tonight. Not bad for a waste. Excuse me? I opened one eye. A chubby kid with a round face was standing in front of me, nervously holding a helmet, wearing decent-looking tank armor. Behind him, a tall skinny guy and 2 girls. A full 4-person squad. You're really going in alone? The chubby one asked. Problem? And no? I'm Chun Hao, D-rank shield warrior. That's Li Mo, D-rank rogue. Sun Xiao, D-rank archer. Wang Ting, D-rank healer. He gestured at his crew. I was wondering if maybe you'd want to temporarily join our team. His teammates reacted like he'd suggested adopting a raccoon. Li Mo grabbed Chun Hao's arm. Are you insane? The worker spiders in there are crazy fast. This F-rank will get 1 shot before he can even aim. We don't have the resources to babysit. The archer piled on. We already lack burst damage, and you want to add a gunslinger? Low damage, ammo problems, dead weight. No thanks. The healer didn't say anything, but her face was screaming. Absolutely not. Chun Hao tried his best. Look, all the good DPS players are taken. Nobody else will join us. At least he's an extra body. He can draw aggro, throw a flashbang, something. 1 more person is better than nothing, right? Draw aggro? He's not drawing aggro. He's delivering takeout to the spiders. Li Mo snapped. Chun Hao turned back to me with an apologetic smile. Of course, our team splits loot by contribution, so you might not get much. The polite version of, you're filler, don't expect anything. I looked at this well-meaning chubby kid and felt annoyed. Not at him specifically. He seemed like a genuinely decent person. But this whole thing, the charity invite, the pity recruitment, they will let you tag along if you accept being worthless. It reminded me way too much of the Liu family's brand of generosity. One was fake and cruel. This one was real but naive. Either way, I didn't need it. No thanks. I work alone. Chun Hao's mouth fell open. He'd extended a hand to the class loser, and the class loser said a no. I could practically hear his brain rebooting. Li Mo burst out laughing behind him. Huh. See. Ungrateful. Let's go. Stop wasting time on him. Chun Hao recovered enough to nod awkwardly. Okay then. Good luck. They walked away. I could hear the complaints fading into the crowd noise. You're too soft, fatty. Why bother with that waste? He's gonna die in there anyway. I closed my eyes again. Enjoy thinking that. Everyone who's underestimated me so far has had a really bad time. And the spiders in that dungeon? They don't know it yet, but they're about to become the biggest stat donation in the history of the newcomer exam. All contestants. Dungeon portal opens in 5 minutes. Final preparations. the whole arena erupted. Everyone jumping up, checking gear, tightening straps, doing that nervous pre-battle shuffle. I stood up and stretched like I was about to go for a jog. Then I noticed a commotion up front. Lin Yue and her crew were strutting toward a VIP entrance lane, because apparently S-rank geniuses get to skip the line. Of course they do. She must have felt me looking because she stopped and turned around. Our eyes met across the arena. Her expression was a whole buffet of emotions. Anger, resentment, and that special shade of embarrassment that only comes from getting your family's dirty secrets broadcast to a live audience. Yellow hair spotted me next. Haha, look, it's the ungrateful waste. Actually showed up. Let me guess, no team wanted him? Shocking. His laugh was so shrill dogs in neighboring cities probably flinched. The crowd tuned in instantly. Nothing unites strangers like watching someone else's drama. That's the guy who went off on the Liu family. F-rank gunslinger who picked a fight with the top genius? Does he have a death wish? Red-hair girl joined the fun, arms crossed, looking down at me like I was gum on her shoe. Weren't you super tough out there, running your mouth? Now look at you, alone in a corner like a sad little bug. She turned to the crowd with a performance smile. Hey everyone, wanna bet? I say this loser doesn't last 10 minutes in the dungeon. Who's in? 10 minutes. You're being generous. I give him 5, yellow hair cackled. Lin Yue just stood there watching me with the eyes of someone mentally writing an obituary. She didn't stop them. Why would she? In her mind, I was already dead. If the spiders didn't kill me, the Liu family's connections would finish the job later. Everyone waited for my reaction. The crowd wanted drama. Her goons wanted tears. Lin Yue wanted me to crumble. I slowly raised my hand and extended one finger, the middle one. Then I mouthed 3 words, nice and slow so everyone could read my lips. Wait. And see. The arena went absolutely mental. Did that F rank just flip off the S rank Saintus? Yellow hair's brain short-circuited. This trash dares. Lin Yue, when we get inside, I'm gonna destroy him. Red hair was vibrating with rage. He's dead. Dead, dead, dead. Lin Yue's chest was heaving. Her face had gone from Ice Queen to volcano. She'd never, in her entire pampered S rank, everybody loves me life, been flipped off by someone she considered beneath her shoe. Fine, she hissed through clenched teeth. I want to see exactly what an F-rank waste can do. Right on time, the floor cracked open and a massive silver magic circle lit up. A 10-meter-wide oval portal shimmered into existence, swirling darkness inside, connecting to another dimension. The Spider Nest Dungeon. First batch, enter now. Lin Yue shot me one last poisonous glare, whipped around, and marched her team into the portal. Gone. More teams followed. I saw Chunhao's group getting ready. Liamo glanced back at me one last time. See? That guy's a lunatic. He just declared war on the Liu princess. Lucky you didn't recruit him or we'd all be targets. Chunhao sighed, gave me one complicated look, and led his team through the portal without a word. Then it was my turn. I walked toward the portal. Alone. 1 guy, 2 guns, 0 teammates. My silhouette against that giant glowing gate probably looked pretty dramatic in a lonely, tragic kind of way. The looks from the crowd were predictable. Pity. Mockery. A few people genuinely placing bets on how quickly I'd die. They all thought the same thing. This is a funeral march. F-rank solo in a D-rank dungeon? The spiders won't even need to try. And honestly, in a normal world, they'd be right. The newcomer exam kills people every year. Weak ones get eaten. Strong ones survive. That's how this world works. Good thing my world stopped being normal about 12 hours ago. I stepped through the portal. Reality twisted. Light disappeared. My stomach did a backflip. When my vision cleared, I was standing in a massive underground cavern. Webs everywhere, ceiling, walls, floor, thick white silk covering everything like the world's worst interior decorator went crazy. Wrapped up corpses of unknown creatures hung from webs like grotesque ornaments, slowly being digested. The ground was sticky with some kind of biological slime that made disgusting squelching sounds with every step. And the noise. Thousands of tiny scratching sounds coming from every direction, like an army of insects crawling across stone. Because that's exactly what it was. Any normal rookie would have been paralyzed with fear. I just looked deeper into the cave. Then I saw them. Hundreds of red dots in the darkness ahead. Tiny, glowing, paired up. Eyes. The next second, An absolute flood of mutant spiders the size of large dogs came pouring out from every crack, every shadow, every surface, walls, ceiling, floor, rushing toward me like a living tidal wave. Dozens of them, maybe more. This density of monsters was way beyond what a D-rank dungeon should have at the entrance. This wasn't a normal spawn. This was a death trap. Someone set this up. I unslung the Storm K2 and racked the first shell. Well then, let's see how many stat stacks I can get out of you guys. A death trap? For me? How thoughtful. They gathered all the experience points in one place, so I wouldn't have to go looking for them. Customer service in this dungeon is excellent. I pulled out the Storm K2 and checked its stats. With all my passives applied, this E-rank shotgun was hitting like something 2 tiers higher. Attack boosted by 36%. Range stretched from 50 meters to 86. Magazine capacity, literally the infinity symbol. And every single pellet now punches through armor like it doesn't exist. This gun was built for pest control, and there were a lot of pests. The first spider leaped at me. A mutant worker spider, level 1, 8 legs spread wide, acid dripping from its mouth, melting little holes in the ground. Very scary, very dramatic. Boom. One shot. The shotgun blast fanned out like a wall of death. The spider didn't just die. It came apart in midair. Shell shattered like a dropped plate, green guts spraying backward. But here's where it gets beautiful. Spirit energy penetration meant the pellets didn't stop. They went through spider number 1 and kept going. Spider 2, spider 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One trigger pull. 8 spiders deleted from existence. My notification feed turned into a waterfall. Times 8. The rest of the swarm didn't care. Blood and guts actually made them more excited. They came harder, faster, climbing over their dead friends' body parts. Bad move. Boom, 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 boom. The Storm K2 is semi-automatic. That means no pump action between shots. Just pull, 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 pull. My finger worked like a machine. Each blast covered a fan-shaped zone of pure annihilation. Every shot killed multiple spiders because the pellets kept piercing through body after body after body. No reloading. Ever. Infinite magazine meant the gun just kept feeding shells like magic. The biggest weakness of every gunslinger, that terrifying moment when you run dry, simply did not exist for me. Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire. That was my entire job description. The cavern turned into a slaughterhouse. My slaughterhouse. Gunfire echoing off every wall, spider parts flying in every direction, green blood pooling on the ground like the world's most disgusting swimming pool. Charge. Die. Charge. Die. Charge. Die. The spiders had exactly one strategy, and it was not working. Meanwhile, my passives were stacking like crazy. Every kill pumped both range and damage up by another %. And with this many targets, the numbers were climbing. Range hit 100%. My shotgun's effective distance had doubled from its base, over 100 meters now. 100-meter shotgun. Let that sink in. Then damage hit 100%. Every pellet now did more than twice the original damage. I pulled the trigger again. Boom. This shot was different. The pellets flew further, hit harder, and left a visible shockwave rippling through the air. Spiders that caught the blast head-on simply ceased to exist. Ones that got clipped by the edge of the spread still had half their bodies blown apart. One shot cleared everything in a 30-meter cone. Just wiped the slate clean. This wasn't pest control anymore. This was an extinction event. The surviving spiders, maybe 30 left, actually stopped charging. For the first time, these brainless murder bugs felt something new: fear. They skittered in place, hissing nervously, trying to decide if eating me was worth the increasingly terrible odds. Spoiler, it was not. I stepped forward, toward them. Boom, boom, boom. 3 shots. The last cluster of spiders vanished in a hurricane of pellets and green mist. Silence. Complete, absolute silence. The cavern floor was carpeted in spider remains. Legs, shells, guts, green blood running in little rivers between the rocks. The air was so thick with the smell of death I could practically chew it. My final stats after the massacre scrolled across my vision. Gun extension, 202%. Effective range, 151 meters. Damage amplification, 166%. 151 meters. On a shotgun. I could hit things in this cave that I couldn't even see, and every pellet hit nearly 3 times harder than factory settings. Then golden light erupted from under my feet and washed through my whole body. Fatigue disappeared. Energy restored. I looked around the empty cavern. Hundreds of dead spiders. One standing human. Not a scratch on me. Somewhere up in the arena, people were betting I'd die in 5 minutes. It's been about 10, and I've already run out of things to kill in this room. But first things first, Daddy needs a new passive. First things first, I check my brand new stat panel. Level 5 is when every awakened person finally gets to see their numbers on paper. Strength, 12. Agility, 15. Constitution, 11. Spirit, 13. Perception, 14. Health, 110. Spirit energy, 130. Decent for an F rank. But let's be honest, my real power isn't in these baby numbers. It's in the 4 mythical passives turning every bullet I fire into a war crime. Speaking of which, golden will time. Draw, spin, glow, stop. Mythical passive, life amplification. Every kill instantly restores 100% health and permanently adds 1 constitution. No limit. Infinite stacking. I stared at that description so hard I think I burned it into my retinas. Every single kill, full heal, plus permanent health boost. The Gunslinger's other famous weakness, besides ammo, is being squishy. 1 hit and you're done. Paper armor. Glass cannon without the cannon, people say. But with this passive, every monster I delete makes me tankier. Permanently. Forever. Kill enough things, and I'll have more health than actual tank classes. I'll be a walking fortress that also happens to shoot infinity bullets at triple damage from 150 meters away. And the instant full heal? I'm basically unkillable as long as there's something nearby to shoot. A regenerating turret. A self-healing death machine. The world's most violent health insurance plan. Then a horrible thought hit me. I just killed 90-something spiders before getting this passive. 90 constitution points, gone. Wasted. 90 permanent health upgrades, I'll never get back. If only this had come 1 draw earlier. I physically winced. Oh well, plenty more bugs in this cave. I checked the Storm K2. Barely warm. E-rank quality engineering. This thing could handle sustained fire without turning into a space heater. A massive upgrade from the SRS, which would have been glowing red and begging for retirement by now. Deeper into the cave, the webs got thicker. Some of the wrapped-up bodies on the walls were still moving. The smell went from terrible to legendary. Then I heard heavier footsteps. Slower. More deliberate. 3 spiders the size of bulls crawled down from the ceiling. Thick legs going clack, clack, clack on the stone. Their rear ends were pumping out silver silk threads. Level 2 mutant web spinners. Health, 180. Defense, 30. Special skills, web trapping and lethal binding. Control-type monsters, the nasty kind that pin you down so their friends can eat you alive. Scary for normal people. For me? Boom. First one, shredded. Green soup. The other 2 tried to flank me from both sides. Cute strategy. Except my shotgun's effective range was over 150 meters and covered an area the size of a parking lot. Boom. Boom. Both dead before they finished their tactical maneuver. That last line. That's life amplification kicking in. Full heal plus 3 permanent constitution points from 3 kills. My health bar jumped from 110 to 140 just like that. I kept moving. 5 pitch-black spiders appeared next. Bigger than the web spinners. Purple-black abdomens practically oozing poison. The cave air got so toxic I could almost see it. Level 3 mutant poison spiders. Health, 220. Defense, 40. Skills, poison spray, venomous bite. They spotted me and charged with ear-piercing shrieks. I walked toward them. Boom, boom, boom. A few seconds. 5 dead spiders. Not even a challenge. My damage was so inflated now that level 3 monsters popped like water balloons. My constitution had gone from 11 to 19 in the span of 1 dungeon run. Health nearly doubled. My shotgun's max damage was sitting at 274 with an effective range of 155 meters. I am an F-rank gunslinger. I am also the most dangerous thing in this cave, and it's not even close. Then, from deep in the tunnels, screaming. Human screaming. Help. I'm stuck. Something's got me. I can't hold them off. Healer. Heal me. Heal me now. Sounds like someone else's dungeon run wasn't going as smoothly as mine. I racked a fresh shell and headed toward the noise. Not because I'm a hero, but because wherever people are dying, there are usually a lot of monsters. And monsters are just walking stat upgrades with legs. I followed the screaming and turned a corner to find, surprise, Chunhao's squad getting absolutely destroyed. The chubby tank was at the front, holding a shield so chewed up it looked like modern art, one leg pouring green poison blood, face the color of expired milk. Behind him, Lin Yue, Mr. F ranks are dead weight, himself, was flailing around with his daggers accomplishing approximately nothing. The archer girl was plinking arrows that did about 20 damage per hit, which on these spiders was basically a massage. And the healer? Out of mana. Digging through her backpack for a potion with shaking hands while a level 3 poison spider crept up from the side and pounced at her. Fangs out. Death incoming. She closed her eyes. Boom. The spider exploded mid-leap like a green piñata. Guts, legs, and warm mystery fluid rained down on the healer's head. She opened her eyes, covered head to toe in spider smoothie, and looked toward the gunshot. There I was, walking out of the shadows. Casually. Shotgun smoking. The F-rank waste. The guy they turned down. The dead weight. Who'd get one shot before he could aim. Hi. Every spider in the room immediately forgot about Chunhao's team and locked onto me. Dozens of red eyes turning in unison like I'd just insulted their mothers. They abandoned the 4 easy meals and rushed me instead, because even bugs can tell who the real threat is. Run! Chunhao screamed at me. They're all coming your way. Run? From this? I stepped forward. Boom, 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 boom. Each shot was a localized apocalypse. For blasts. For expanding fans of spirit energy pellets that tore through spider after spider after spider. The penetration effect meant nothing survived being in a line. First spider, gone. Second spider behind it, also gone. Third one hiding behind that. Believe it or not, also gone. A few breaths. That's all it took. The entire swarm that had their 4-person team begging for mercy, wiped clean. Every last spider. Nothing left but a floor covered in green modern art. Silence. Chunhao's team stood there looking like someone had paused their brains mid-loading screen. That's not possible, Lin Yue whispered, staring at the carnage. His dagger was hanging limp in his hand. His face was doing that thing where it keeps switching between red and white because the shame and the shock were fighting for control. Every insult he'd thrown at me was playing back in his head right now. Can't last 3 minutes. Pure dead weight. Delivering takeout to the spiders. Each one hitting him like a boomerang made of embarrassment. My single shotgun had done more damage in 5 seconds than their entire squad managed in their whole fight. And it wasn't close. It wasn't even the same sport. Chunhao swallowed hard. Thank you. I looked at them. All 4. Beaten up, poisoned, terrified, completely out of resources. I didn't say a word. Just walked past them and kept going deeper into the cave. Like they were rocks on the side of the road. Scenery. Background decoration. And that silence, me not even bothering to acknowledge them, hit harder than any trash talk ever could. Lin Yue and the archer girl looked like they wanted the ground to swallow them whole. Wait, Chunhao shouted after me. It's dangerous ahead. We should. I was already gone. Swallowed by the darkness. They stood there for a long time, processing what had just happened. Chunhao snapped out of it first. Stop standing around. Drink your potions. Bandage your wounds. He chugged a healing potion and started wrapping his leg. The archer girl spoke up in a shaky voice. So, do we keep going? Keep going where? Lin Yue hissed. We almost just died. If we go deeper, there's elite monsters. Even that guy can't one-shot an elite. Following him is suicide. Staying here is suicide. Chunhao fired back, pointing at the spider corpses. This dungeon is way harder than we expected. We can't survive on our own. Our only chance is following him. He paused, softened his voice. At least behind him, we might live. The healer and archer exchanged a look and nodded. They'd seen what I could do. Following the human artillery cannon was better than standing in spider territory with no mana and a cracked shield. Lin Yue opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again, gave up. Yeah, pride doesn't matter much when you're one spider bite away from becoming cave decorations. Off they went, limping after the F-rank waste who just saved all their lives without even stopping to say, "You're welcome." After saving Chunhao's team, I kept pushing deeper and racked up another pile of spider corpses. 7 web spinners, 6 poison spiders. all deleted with casual efficiency. The numbers were getting ridiculous now. Range, 223%. Damage, 187%. Constitution, through the roof. Health sitting at 330 just from passive stacking alone. Level 6. And more importantly, new draw. Draw, golden wheel. Blinding spin. And the result. Mythical passive, weakness gaze. Hit a vital spot equals instant kill. Miss the vital spot? Every third shot triggers instant kill anyway. I had to sit with that one for a second. Instant. Kill. Hit the weak point. Dead. Don't hit the weak point. Doesn't matter. Every 3 shots, something dies regardless. It's like the universe looked at my build and said, you know what? Let's just remove the concept of things surviving. With 187% damage amplification plus an auto-execute every 3 shots, nothing in this dungeon, possibly nothing in this city, could tank me. Even a boss 10 levels above me would last. What? 3 shots maximum. My cheats might be slightly overtuned. I admitted to absolutely nobody. I pressed deeper. The cave was getting nastier, webs thick as arms, human skeletons hanging from the walls, air so foul it had texture. Classic, you're approaching the boss room, interior design. One final turn and the tunnel opened into a cavern the size of a football field. And in the middle of it sat the main attraction. Mutant Spider General. Level 6. D rank elite. Over 5 meters long. Black armor plating covering its entire body like a living tank. 8 legs thick as tree trunks. 8 blood-red eyes glowing like cursed rubies. Defense, 120. Skills, ground slam, web bind, berserk mode. A real elite monster. Health bar displayed in percentage instead of numbers. Always a sign that something takes a while to kill. That 120 defense would shut down most awakened fighters at this level. They literally couldn't punch through the armor. But I had spirit energy penetration, which makes defense a fictional concept. And weakness gaze, which makes health bars a temporary condition. 3 shots. Maximum. This thing was already dead. It just hadn't been informed yet. I raised the Storm K2, ready to introduce myself. Boys move. The elite is right here. A squad of 5 burst out of a side tunnel. Full sprint. Gleaming equipment. Leader wearing silver armor, so polished it was basically a mirror, carrying a blue glowing longsword that probably cost more than a house. Meng Tao. Son of the Meng family, one of Xinjiang's 4 great families. A-rank berserker swordsman. And, most notably, one of Lu Manyu's most dedicated simps. Professional-grade bootlicker. The kind of guy who'd carry her shopping bags and call it an honor. He noticed me and did a double take. I could practically read his thought bubble. The F-rank trash that got kicked out of the Lu house. How is he alive? He looked me over, then looked at my shotgun, then decided I must have gotten here through sheer dumb luck. Yeah, buddy, I tripped and accidentally killed 200 monsters. Happens all the time. Then Chunhao's group stumbled in behind me, battered, bandaged, looking like they'd crawled through a war zone. Because they had. Meng Tao saw their busted gear, and his face shifted from confusion to contempt faster than a traffic light. Oh, I could see the mental calculation happening. Lin Yue, a squad of broke nobodies equals carried by sheer numbers. He thought I'd been hiding behind Chunhao's team this whole time. Adorable. Don't worry, he announced with the generosity of a man who loves hearing himself talk. This elite is a bit above your pay grade. Just stand back and watch the professionals handle it. Then, without giving me another glance, he started barking orders like a military commander. Zhang Lei, pull aggro. Li Meng, DPS. Wang Lei, crowd control. Zhao Jing, keep Zhang Lei alive. I'll be main damage. His team snapped into formation. Textbook positioning. Everyone in matching C-rank spirit gear worth several million credits total. Coordinated, disciplined, dripping with money. I lowered my shotgun and leaned back slightly. Fine. Go ahead, rich boy. Show me what a few million credits of daddy's money can do. I was genuinely curious. I'd been soloing everything so far. I actually had no idea how a proper team fought an elite monster. Consider this a free educational seminar. With popcorn. Except instead of popcorn, I had infinite ammunition and a passive that literally says, 3 shots and you're dead. But hey, no rush. Let the A-rank golden boy have his moment. This should be entertaining. The Spider General charged immediately. No warm-up, no introductions, just straight-up murder mode. Come on, Zhang Lei, the tank, planted himself in front with his fancy silver shield. Wham! The impact shook the entire cave. Zhang Lei skidded backwards several meters, carving trenches in the stone floor with his boots. His shield arm was shaking like a leaf in a hurricane. But he held. Barely. That thing hits like a truck, he yelled, shaking out his numb arm. But I can take it. Keep going, Meng Tao grinned. Daddy's money at work, baby. That C-rank shield could practically tank a missile. The mage started launching fireballs. Each one exploded against the Spider General's armor and left a scorch mark. That's it. A little black smudge. Like throwing matches at a refrigerator. The archer fired spirit energy arrows at the joints. Most bounced off with sad little tink, tink, tink sounds. A few stuck in, doing paper cut level damage. The healer pumped healing spells into Zhang Lei non-stop, while Meng Tao went to town with his glowing blue sword, hacking at the same spot on the spider's leg over and over until a tiny crack appeared in the armor. I stood off to the side, arms resting on my shotgun, watching this like it was a nature documentary. Not bad, I thought. Objectively speaking, they were way better than Chun Hao's team. Good coordination. No major mistakes. Expensive gear doing expensive gear things. But also, painfully slow. I glanced at the Spider General's health bar. After several minutes of 5 people going absolutely HAM, it had dropped from 100% to about 90%. At this rate, 20 to 30 minutes to finish the job. I could do it in 3 shots. But sure, take your time, kids. 10 minutes of grinding later, the health bar was at 75%. The mage was sweating. The healer's mana was running low. Zhang Lei's shield had more dents than a demolition derby car. But they were hanging in there. And that's when Meng Tao decided it was time for a victory speech. Mid-battle. Hey, you losers watching from the back? He was swinging his sword and trash-talking simultaneously, which takes a special kind of multitasking talent. See this? This is real power. Open your broke-ass eyes and take notes. You bottom feeders could train for a lifetime and never reach our level. Chun Hao's team shuffled uncomfortably. Liamo was grinding his teeth so hard I could hear it. They wanted to talk back, but honestly, the math wasn't on their side. Meng Tao's team really was crushing it compared to them. Of course, Meng Tao had no idea that the broke losers standing behind him included a guy who could one-shot the monster he'd been tickling for 10 minutes. But ignorance is bliss, I suppose. The health bar kept dropping. 50%, 40%, 30%. Almost there. Zhang Lei was gasping, barely standing. Meng Tao was practically foaming at the mouth with excitement. One last push, boys. Then the Spider General screamed and started growing. Its body swelled up a full size larger. Berserk mode activated, attack power through the roof, defense drops in exchange. It's going berserk, the healer shrieked. So what? Meng Tao's eyes were bloodshot. Pop your cooldowns. Everything. Even the healer, attack. All 5 of them dumped every last skill they had. The healer abandoned healing entirely and fired her one-attack spell. Swords, fireballs, arrows, energy bolts. Everything rained down on the spider like a fireworks finale. The health bar plummeted. 50%, 40%, 30%. Ha 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 ha. Meng Tao threw his head back laughing. This is the Meng family elite squad. Witness greatness. His team was already celebrating. Smiles everywhere. Victory was inevitable. 10 minutes of hard work about to pay off. This felt like a good moment. I raised my Storm K2, aimed at the spider's head. And while everyone was busy congratulating themselves, boom. One shot. Weakness gaze found the sweet spot. The Spider General's entire head detonated like a watermelon in a microwave. Its massive body crashed to the ground, dead before it finished falling. Killed LV-6 Mutant Spider General, Elite. EXP 1500. The cave went silent. Completely, absolutely, hear a pin drop silent. Meng Tao and his squad froze. Literally froze mid-pose, sword raised, staff extended, bow drawn, healing hands out. 5 statues in expensive armor. Meng Tao's victory laugh was still stuck on his face, mouth wide open, eyes blank, brain loading at 0%. They fought this thing for 10 minutes. 5 people. Millions of credits in gear. Every skill in their arsenal. Got it down to 30%. And then one gunshot from the sidelines ended it. Meng Tao's eyeballs slowly, mechanically rotated toward his teammates. They all looked equally comatose. Nobody on his team could have done that. The mage didn't have that firepower. The archer definitely didn't. His gaze drifted past his squad, past Chen Hao's group, who looked shocked but not confused, because they'd already seen me work and landed on me. Standing there, calm, lowering my plain-looking shotgun, a thin wisp of smoke curling from the barrel. The gunshot. I could see the exact moment his brain made the connection. It was like watching a computer from 1995 try to load a web page. Slow, painful, and when it finally arrived at the answer, his entire face short-circuited. 10 minutes of his team's best work. One pull of my trigger. Same result. I didn't say a word. Didn't need to. I could see the gears grinding in Meng Tao's head. A gunshot? From the F rank? One-shotting an elite that his premium squad spent 10 minutes tickling? His brain rejected it like a bad organ transplant. Impossible, his Tank Zhang Lei declared. He must have used some special item. A high-damage bomb or explosive round. Meng Tao latched onto that explanation like a drowning man grabbing a pool noodle. Yes, a one-time use item. That's the only thing that makes sense. But item or not, I'd stolen his kill. His 10-minute kill. His big hero moment in front of the broke losers. And the Meng family heir does not tolerate being upstaged. Lin Yue. He came storming over, blue sword pointed at my throat, for teammates in formation behind him. Full intimidation mode. The rich kid villain squad. Chen Hao's group scrambled backwards in panic. But even through their fear, I could see the realization hitting them. It was me who fired that shot. The F-rank waste just one-tapped an elite that their entire team couldn't have scratched. I ignored Meng Tao entirely. Popped open the Storm K2's chamber. Checked the rounds. You know, casually. Like a man browsing his phone while someone screams in his face. This drove him absolutely nuclear. Hey, I'm talking to you. Are you deaf? He lunged in front of me, sword tip an inch from my Adam's apple. Apologize. Now, hand over all the loot from this kill. Or none of you are leaving this dungeon alive. I looked past his shoulder at the Spider General's corpse. Something was glowing on it. Loot drop. Nice. You guys were taking forever. I just helped speed things up. No need to thank me. Help? Help your. The healer grabbed Meng Tao's arm before he could finish that creative sentence. Tao, wait, she hissed. I used inspect on him. He's level 6. Meng Tao's sword arm froze in midair. Level 6. His elite squad, with their millions of credits and gear, had ground their way to level 4. I was 6. In the same dungeon. In less time. Alone. His teammates. Meng Tao asked through clenched teeth. Highest one is level 2. So, Chen Hao's squad wasn't carrying me. I was dragging them. Or more accurately, they were just nearby while I did everything. Wait, Zhang Lei's face went pale. The experience from killing the Spider General. Did we get any? Meng Tao's stomach dropped. He ripped open his stat panel. 0. 0 experience gained. Nothing. Not a single point. Here's how dungeon rules work. If you're in range when a grouped kill happens, everyone gets a share. But if one person's single attack exceeds 30% of the monster's total health, the system counts it as a solo kill. That person gets everything. Everyone else gets soup. Except we didn't even get soup. The Spider General had 8,000 total HP. 30% of that is 2,400. My one shot had dealt over 2,400 damage. And that's not even counting the 120 defense that my spirit penetration casually ignored. 2,400 damage. In one trigger pull, from an F rank, Meng Tao, an A rank berserker, could do maybe 70 or 80 per sword swing on his best day. I just did 30 times his damage. In one shot. Standing still. While he wasn't looking. And it wasn't an item. If it were an item kill, the system would have classified it differently and given them partial credit. They got nothing. The system said, this was Lin Yue's kill. 100%. U5 were scenery. Meng Tao's sword hand started trembling. Cold sweat breaking through his grip. The blade pointed at my throat was wobbling like a compass needle having an identity crisis. The anger was gone from his face. The arrogance, too. What replaced it was something he'd probably never felt before in his privileged little life. Genuine, bone-deep fear of someone he'd assumed was beneath him. So, can you move? I flicked his sword aside with my finger. Just pushed it away like it was a tree branch in my path. He didn't resist. Didn't even flinch. Just stood there, locked up, watching me walk past him toward the Spider General's body. Behind him, his teammates were having a silent panic. Fight. Don't fight? They had better gear and higher average level. On paper, 5 versus 1, they should win. But nobody wanted to find out what happens when that shotgun points at them instead of a spider. That 2,400 damage shotgun. The one that turned an elite monster's head into abstract art from 50 meters away. Would you volunteer to test that? Yeah, me neither. Meng Tao's face looked like he was chewing a wasp. Every emotion fighting for control, rage, humiliation, terror, and none of them winning. I crouched beside the spider's wrecked body and dug through the gore. My hands found something solid. Pulled it out. A fist-sized heart. Still beating. Bright green, covered in slime, pulsing with warm energy. I blew the gunk off it, held it up to the dim light, and watched it glow. Still warm. Good quality. I checked out my prize. The system helpfully pulled up the details. Mutant Spider General's Toxic Heart. D-rank rare. Special material / consumable. Can be absorbed to potentially trigger a mutation in your professional abilities. Warning, 99% failure rate. Failure results in permanent stat loss or instant death. Estimated value, 100,000 credits. So basically, I was holding a lottery ticket where first prize was a massive power-up and every other number killed you. Fun. The smart move was obvious. Sell it, pocket 100 grand, buy better gear, live comfortably. Easy decision. Then the system chimed in. Item detected with high compatibility to host profession. Failure rate reduced to 70%. Absorption method, direct consumption, eat it. Warning, failure still results in attribute loss or death. 70% failure rate. Better than 99, sure. But still basically Russian roulette with 5 bullets in a 7-chamber revolver. And the method was, eat a still beating spider heart. Delicious. Any sane, rational human being would sell this thing immediately. I stared at it. Watched it pulse in my hand. Warm. Glowing. Full of potential. 100,000 credits could buy me nice things. Temporary things. Things that wouldn't change what I fundamentally was. An F-rank gunslinger with cheap passives, but a baseline profession that the entire world considered garbage. This heart could change that. The profession itself. A once-in-a-lifetime mutation opportunity, handed to me by a system that had already given me 4 mythical abilities in 12 hours. This wasn't random. This was the universe leaving breadcrumbs. Fortune favors the bold. And I hadn't gotten this far by playing it safe. Decision made. I'm eating the gross spider heart. But not here. I glanced at Meng Tao's crew standing 20 meters away, radiating hostility like a space heater radiates warmth. Eating a mystery organ while surrounded by angry rich kids who wanted me dead? That's not bold, that's stupid. I pocketed the heart carefully and looked back at Meng Tao. The guy was having a visible internal meltdown. His knuckles were white around his sword. His face was cycling through rage, humiliation, and grudging terror like a broken traffic light. Fight me? Risk catching a 2,400 damage shotgun blast to the face? Or walk away and accept being embarrassed by the school loser? His teammates were already leaning toward the exit. No one wanted smoke. Their healer was practically tugging his sleeve. Their tank looked ready to retire from adventuring entirely. Let's go, Meng Tao finally spat. He turned to leave. I let him get about 3 steps. Wait, he spun around like I'd pulled a gun on him. Which, to be fair, was a reasonable concern. I casually picked up the 2 remaining loot items, a D-rank armor piece and a D-rank skill book. Neither useful to me, but decent money. Dropped them in my bag. Then I pointed my chin at the Spider General's massive corpse lying on the ground. You don't want the body? I hear the parts sell for good money at the association. I paused. Let it sink in. You guys worked really hard for 10 whole minutes. No results, but at least you tried. Consider the corpse your participation trophy. Meng Tao's face turned the color of a tomato that was also somehow purple. The veins on his neck were doing things veins shouldn't do. I had just offered him scraps. From his kill. That I stole. As a gift. Like tossing coins to a beggar. Except the beggar was wearing several million credits worth of gear and had an A-rank profession. You, Tao, let it go. His healer grabbed his arm. He stared at me for what felt like an eternity. Pure, distilled hatred. The kind that gets people added to hit lists. Then he smiled. The bad kind of smile. I'll remember this, Lin Yue. We'll see. And he walked away. His team followed, constantly looking over their shoulders like I might shoot them in the back. Which, honestly, was flattering. I didn't know it at the time, but about 2 minutes later, In a tunnel not far away, Ming Tao punched a wall hard enough to crack it and screamed my name loud enough to echo through half the dungeon. Then he pulled out a black communicator. Target, Lin Yue. Level 6 Gunslinger. Track him. Wait until he's distracted or alone. Kill him. Make it look like monsters did it. On the other end, twin B-rank shadow assassins. Professional killers raised by the Meng family since childhood. A level 6 gunslinger? You need both of us for that. Don't underestimate him. His damage is insane. He can one-shot. Do it clean. So now I had invisible assassins coming for me on top of everything else. Good thing I had a still-beating spider heart to eat, stats climbing by the minute, and a shotgun that could delete anything in a 150-meter radius. But first, I needed to find a quiet spot for lunch. And by lunch, I mean the most disgusting meal of my entire life. I looked at the Spider General's massive body. Tons of valuable parts in there, enough to sell for serious cash. But time was ticking. The real prize was deeper in the dungeon, the Spider Queen. The final boss. The EXP motherlode. Money or power? Easiest decision of my life. I turned and walked deeper. Behind me, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. 4 sets of footsteps trying desperately to sound casual. Shenhao's crew. Following me like baby ducks. Staying about 15 meters back, close enough to feel safe, but far enough to not annoy me. Or so they thought. I didn't look back, but my mind was already working. Meng Tao was a problem. Rich kids with wounded egos don't just walk away. They call daddy, pull strings, and send someone to handle their mess. Right now, that spoiled brat was absolutely, 100%, plotting my murder. In a dungeon where people die all the time, making someone disappear was as easy as blaming it on monsters. And these 4 tagalongs? If Meng Tao came after me, they'd become collateral damage. Targets. Leverage. Dead weight in every sense of the word. I needed them gone. For their own good. What I didn't know, at least not yet, was that 2 shadows were already on my trail. In a side tunnel not far behind, 2 figures moved like ghosts along the cave walls. Silent. Professional. Not a single footstep, not a single sound. One of them crouched down, touched the mud, and rubbed fresh footprints between his fingers. 5 sets of tracks. That's our guy, Yuan 3. B-rank shadow assassin. Professional killer since childhood. His twin brother Yuan 4 stretched lazily, cracking every joint in his body like he was warming up for a yoga class, and not a murder. The young master is being paranoid. A level 6 gunslinger with 4 level 2 civilians? He needs both of us for this. Yuan 3 picked up one of my spent shell casings. Sniffed it. Cheap gunpowder. Nothing special. But the spider corpses scattered around the tunnel told a different story, and his eyebrow twitched. Don't get cocky. The boss says he can one-shot people. So, Yuan 4 licked his chapped lips. Gunslingers are made of paper. Get within 3 meters, and I'll twist his head off and use it as a football. Let's hurry up. The real money is the final boss, and I want in on that action. They melted back into the darkness. Getting closer. Meanwhile, I stopped at a fork in the tunnel and turned around. 4 terrified faces stared back at me. This is where you stop following me. Chunhao shuffled forward, wringing his hands, forcing the most pathetic smile I'd ever seen. Lin Yue, no big Broyue. Thank you for saving us back there. We'd literally be spider food without you. Please, please, can we keep following you? We won't cause trouble. We won't slow you down. Whatever you say goes. Just let us stay alive. All 4 of them were nodding so hard their heads might have fallen off. I looked at each face, then shook my head. Follow me, and you'll die faster. I pointed at the left tunnel. A wave of cold, rotten air drifted out of it like the cave itself was breathing. Down there is level 7 to 9 territory. Mutant bloodthirst spiders. They hunt in packs. They can hear your heartbeat, and they can smell fear. If one tags you, you're finished. No escape. No second chance. I let that sink in. You've already survived long enough to pass the exam. Just find a dead-end tunnel, block the entrance with rocks, sit tight for 4 hours, and the dungeon will eject you when time's up. You don't need to find an exit. You just need to not die. They stared at me like I'd suggested they vacation on the sun. Hide in a hole. For 4 hours. Liamo looked physically ill. What if something finds us? The archer squeaked. My patience ran out. That's your problem. I turned and walked into the left tunnel without another word. The darkness swallowed me in seconds. And right on schedule, lurking in the shadows, watching me separate from the group, Yuan 4's grin stretched from ear to ear. Perfect. Target isolated. Heading into elite monster territory. The plan practically wrote itself. Wait until I was fighting something nasty, then slide a knife between my ribs from behind. By the time anyone found my body, it would look like just another rookie who bit off more than he could chew. Clean. Simple. Untraceable. At least, that was their plan. They had no idea they were stalking something far more dangerous than a level 6 gunslinger. They were stalking a level 6 gunslinger with infinite ammo, 200% bonus range, 188% bonus damage, armor-piercing rounds, an auto-execute passive, and a health bar that grew every time something died. But hey, they'd figure that out soon enough. The tunnel smelled like something died in something else that had also died. Blood, rot, wet rock, and a special undertone of, "You really shouldn't be here." Broken equipment and gnawed bones littered the ground. Some poor souls had wandered in before me and learned the hard way that level 7 territory doesn't care about your feelings. One body was still fresh, a young healer in blue robes, chest punched full of holes the size of soup bowls, eyes frozen wide open in permanent surprise. I sighed. The examiner literally said, "Don't come here unless you're ready." But people never listen. Then I heard it. A wet click, click, click from above. I looked up. A spider the size of a small car was hanging upside down from the ceiling, casually munching on someone's upper half like it was a sandwich. Black body, red markings, legs covered in razor hooks. 2 of its 8 eyes swiveled down and locked onto me with obvious excitement. Level 7 mutant bloodthirst spider. Health, 720. Defense, 50. Skills that included pierce you like a kebab and wrap you up for later. It didn't even say hello. Just whipped its fat rear end around and launched a glob of web slime at my face. I dodged. Barely. The goo snagged the edge of my jacket, and I felt it tug. The spider shrieked, and that shriek was a dinner bell. 6 more level 7s came pouring out of the darkness like a nightmare assembly line. 7 giant murder spiders. Most people would freeze, scream, probably soil themselves. I raised the Storm K2. Boom. First one. Headshot. Weakness gaze found the sweet spot. Its skull popped like a grape and the body dropped from the ceiling like a sack of wet laundry. The other 6 were already 10 meters away and closing fast. Boom. Boom. 2 shots. Spirit energy penetration turned the pellets into a horizontal blender. Weakness gazes every third shot execute kicked in. All 6 spiders were inside the blast zone, and every single mythical passive I owned fired simultaneously. The result was less combat and more explosion at a paint factory. 6 car-sized spiders detonated into a shower of limbs and green slime that redecorated every surface within 20 meters. 10 seconds. 7 dead. My new personal record for this size category. 420 EXP. Range, 231%. Damage, 195%. Constitution 7. Level up to LV7. God tier passive draw available. Draw. Mythical passive, transcendent perception. Doubles all sensory abilities. Every kill permanently adds 1 perception. No limit. Infinite stacking. The effect was instant. It was like someone ripped a blindfold off that I didn't know I was wearing. Suddenly I could hear everything. Water dripping 3 tunnels over. The heartbeat of a spider hiding behind a rock 40 meters away. Air currents shifting when something moved in the dark. My skin could feel temperature changes from creatures breathing nearby. The smell thing was less pleasant. I could now identify 17 distinct flavors of dead thing in the air. Thanks, enhanced nose. Really needed that. But for combat, this was a game changer. Every spider in this tunnel system was now lit up in my senses like a Christmas tree. They could hide behind rocks, cling to ceilings, burrow into cracks. Didn't matter. I could feel them all. The hunter spiders just became the hunted. I pushed deeper, shotgun up, grinning like a kid in an arcade. Spider hiding behind that stalactite. Boom. Dead before it launched. 3 more crouched in a side pocket. Boom, boom. Confetti. Pack of 5 lurking around the next corner. I shot through the corner. 210 EXP, 400 EXP, 280 EXP, range, damage, constitution, perception, all climbing with every kill. My sensory radius was expanding in real time. 20 meters became 30. 30 became 40. Every dead spider made the next one easier to find. I was a walking radar tower with a gun that hit like a missile launcher. Ambush tactics don't really work when your prey can sense your heartbeat from 50 meters away. Then, mid-sweep, my enhanced senses picked up something new. Not spiders. People. 2 of them. 40 to 50 meters behind me. Breathing so lightly, it was almost imperceptible. Footsteps so silent they'd make a cat jealous. Deliberately masking their presence. Professional stalkers. Trained killers. Meng Tao's cleanup crew. Finally showed up. Interesting. I kept walking like I hadn't noticed a thing. Same pace. Same posture. Casual as a Sunday stroll. But inside, the gears were turning. They thought they were hunting me. Creeping closer, waiting for the perfect moment. Probably planning to strike while I was busy fighting spiders. Classic backstab setup. Make it look like monsters killed me. Cute plan. Except I could literally feel them breathing from 50 meters away. I knew their exact position. Their movement speed. The way they shifted weight between footsteps. I found a nice open intersection in the tunnels and stopped. Leaned against the wall. Made a big show of checking my ammo and stretching like I was tired. Oh gee, look at me, completely unaware and vulnerable. What a perfect target I make. Just standing here with my guard totally down. The trap was set. Come on in, boys. The water's fine. 40 meters behind me, 2 professional assassins were whispering to each other like it was a heist movie. He stopped. He's resting. This is our chance. Wait. Observe first. He killed all those spiders alone. He's not simple. He's a level 6 gunslinger, bro. Paper body. I could sneeze on him and he'd die. 1 knife. That's all I need. I could hear every word, every breath, every tiny shift of weight on stone. Transcendent perception is a beautiful thing. They started creeping closer, hugging the walls, taking a flanking route to avoid my line of sight. Very professional. Very quiet. Would have fooled literally anyone who didn't have mythical-grade sensory abilities. Then Yuan 4's ankle brushed something thin. I felt him freeze. His brother grabbed his shoulder and pushed them both flat against the ground. A moment later, Yuan 3 slowly pulled a tripwire away from his brother's foot. That son of a... He planted mines. Remember those 2 signal tracking mines I bought at the weapon shop? I knew they'd come in handy. Planted them along the most logical approach paths while I was resting. Because I'm thoughtful like that. Yuan 3 went full bomb disposal mode, carefully checking the ground ahead. Found the second mine. Disarmed it too. The instant he did, click, a faint sound only I could hear. The signal trigger releasing. That tiny noise told me exactly 2 things, where they were, and that they were now inside my perception radius. Both mines disarmed. Both assassins located. Both completely unaware that their stealth approach had been a live GPS broadcast to my enhanced senses the entire time. Welcome to the party, boys. I shifted the shotgun to my left hand and rested my right on the Nova P1 at my thigh. Pistol work. This called for precision. Yuan 3 straightened up after disabling the second mine. Nodded to his brother. Clear. Move. Yuan 4 practically vibrated with excitement. Finally, his body blurred, literally dissolved into a stretched shadow racing across the ground at terrifying speed. B-rank shadow assassin talent. Stealth rush. Invisible movement at massive speed. Their signature move. The thing that made them deadly. Even level 10 fighters couldn't detect it. 40 meters. 30. 20. He was grinning. I could sense the muscles in his face. A gunslinger can't possibly detect an invisible assassin at this range. Impossible. Everyone knows that. At 19 meters, I stopped pretending to sleep. My right hand came up. The Nova P1's black barrel and my eyes behind the tactical helmet locked onto his exact position like twin laser sights. What? He can see me. Yuan 4's invisible confidence shattered in real time. But commitment is commitment. He dropped stealth, activated ghost step for maximum speed, and lunged at me as a screaming blur. Die. That's your stealth technique? I said. I saw you coming a mile ago. Bang. 1 pistol round. Clean through the center of his forehead. His forward momentum and the bullet's impact collided, and his body did this weird mid-air hiccup before slamming into the ground and sliding to a stop. Dead. Instantly. Lights out. Kill confirmed. Range 1%. Damage 1%. Constitution 1. Perception 1. Oh hello. Killing awakened humans stacks my passives too? Good to know. Every type of enemy counts. Very good to know. From somewhere in the shadows, I heard a strangled sound. Half scream, half sob. 4, Yuan 3. Watching his twin brother get headshot from the cheap seats. His pride, his partner, his lifelong companion, dropped by a single pistol bullet from the paper-body gunslinger they'd been laughing about 5 minutes ago. I could feel his heartbeat spiking through the walls. Fear and fury wrestling for control. Their legendary stealth technique, the skill that could fool opponents 5 levels above them. I'd seen through it like it was a window. He started backing away, slowly, testing whether retreat was possible. I let him get about 3 steps before casually swinging the pistol in his direction. He stopped, moved left. The barrel followed. Moved right. The barrel followed. Wherever he went, no matter how silent, how careful, how pressed against the wall, my gun tracked him like he was wearing a neon sign. I could feel his sweat. I could hear the exact rhythm of his panic. His heart was slamming against his ribs so hard it was basically Morse code for, "I'm going to die." He was an elite B-rank assassin, trained from birth. Dozens of kills under his belt. And right now, for the first time in his entire career, he understood what prey feels like. I smiled in the dark. "You think you can still run?" Yuan 3 was shaking so hard I could feel the vibrations through the floor. His heartbeat sounded like a drum solo at a speed metal concert. "This is impossible. He's F-rank. He can't see through enhanced stealth." "Oh, buddy, if only you knew." My perception stat had hit 58. For a level 7, that's absolutely absurd. The kind of number that breaks the rules of what's supposed to be possible. My sensory range covered nearly 100 meters in every direction. I could feel air currents shifting when a spider twitched 2 tunnels over. I could hear the difference between someone breathing through their nose versus their mouth. From 50 meters away, Yuan 3's heartbeat was basically screaming his location at me in surround sound. He snapped. Couldn't run, couldn't hide. Brother dead on the ground. Rage 1. "Lin Yue, I'll kill you." He burst out of stealth, both daggers drawn, and charged. Then he played his ace card. Shadow clone technique. His body flickered, and suddenly there were 3 of him, attacking from 3 different angles simultaneously. The signature B-rank assassin move. Creates perfect visual copies to confuse your target while the real one goes for the kill. Apparently it fools even A-rank fighters. I raised an eyebrow, genuinely impressed for about half a second. Then I listened. 3 bodies running at me, but only one had a heartbeat. The left one. Clones are just images, light and shadow. No organs. No blood. No thump-thump-thump of a terrified heart hammering at 200 beats per minute. Transcendent perception doesn't care about your fancy illusions. It cares about biology. And biology doesn't lie. I swung the Nova P1 to the left and fired. Bang. To his credit, Yuan 3 was good. At the last possible microsecond, he twisted his body mid-sprint and dodged the kill shot. The bullet meant for his brain caught his shoulder instead. He hit the ground hard. Both clones popped like soap bubbles. He lay there clutching his bleeding shoulder, staring up at me with eyes that had completely given up trying to understand what was happening. How did you tell which one was real?" "My shadow clone fools A-rank fighters." I walked toward him. Slowly, gun still aimed at his skull. "Simple. Yours was the only body with a heartbeat." His face went blank. Then the full horror of it hit him. I could hear heartbeats. From across a room. While 3 bodies sprinted at me simultaneously. And I picked the right one in a fraction of a second. What are you?" "None of your business." I stopped in front of him. "Meng Tao sent you." "Yes." He hesitated. Looked at my gun. Nodded. "Anyone else?" "No. Just us." I scanned the surroundings with my perception. No other human signatures. He was telling the truth. "Good. You can go join your brother now." "Wait." Pure desperation. "I can work for you. I know all of Meng Tao's secrets. I can help you take him down." Interesting offer. From a professional killer who was trying to murder me 60 seconds ago. Who would absolutely betray me the moment it was convenient. Who belonged to the family that sent him here. "No thanks." Bang. Clean. Through the forehead. Out the back. Done. Kill confirmed. Range 1%. Damage 1%. Constitution 1. Perception 1. 2 assassins. 2 bullets. 2 additions to my ever-growing stat collection. I searched the bodies. Nothing special. Basic assassin gear. Some consumables. But on Yuan 3, I found a black communicator. Oh, this was going to be fun. I pressed the call button. Meng Tao picked up instantly. "Yuan 3. Is it done?" I cleared my throat and dropped my voice into the best Yuan 3 impression I could manage. Done. Excellent. Clean job. Spotless. Ha ha ha. Beautiful work. I'll give you both a fat bonus after the exam. I could practically hear him rubbing his hands together like a cartoon villain. Regroup with us now. I'm sending coordinates. We're almost at the Spider Queen's nest. The communicator pinged with his location. I looked at it and smiled. He was deep in the dungeon, close to the final boss, probably feeling very proud of himself right now. Confident that the annoying F-rank problem had been quietly taken care of. Ready to claim glory and first place without any loose ends. He had no idea his 2 assassins were currently becoming spider food in a side tunnel. I tossed the communicator on the ground and listened to the left passage. Scratching sounds. Hungry sounds. A few bloodthirst spiders, drawn by the scent of fresh blood, came scurrying out and descended on the 2 bodies with enthusiasm. Nature's cleanup crew. How convenient. I turned right and headed deeper. Meng Tao thought he'd won. Thought I was dead. Thought he could waltz up to the Spider Queen, kill her, claim the top prize, and go home a hero. He was about to have the worst surprise of his entire Silver Spoon life. Behind me, the sound of professional assassins being converted into spider food. Circle of life. Beautiful. Meng Tao was next on my list. The guy sent killers after me inside an exam dungeon. That crosses every line there is. In this world, mercy toward enemies is just delayed suicide. And conveniently, people who die in the dungeon during the exam, nobody investigates. It's written off as dungeon hazard, very tidy. But first, there was a lot of experience walking around this cave on 8 legs, and I intended to collect every last point. My transcendent perception had turned me into a biological sonar system. Everything within 100 meters was mapped in my brain like a 3D model. Spiders hiding behind walls. Spiders clinging to ceilings. Unhatched spider eggs with baby spiders squirming inside. I could even feel air pressure changes when something moved 3 tunnels away. I entered the level 9 zone. The air got thicker. The blood smell got intense. This was where overconfident teams came to die. Left side, 30 meters, for spiders behind the rock wall. I didn't even look. Just angled the Storm K2 and fired through the wall. Boom. Spirit penetration doesn't care about rocks. For level 9 bloodthirst spiders turned to paste behind solid stone. They never saw it coming. They never saw anything coming. 360 EXP, range for percent, damage for percent, constitution 4, perception 4, kept walking, didn't slow down. 5 on the ceiling, boom. Spider rain. Webs, guts, limbs, and slime fell from above like the worst weather forecast in history. This wasn't combat anymore. This was extermination. I was a walking fumigation service. Spiders that terrified entire 5-person squads couldn't even reveal themselves before I erased them. They'd sense a human nearby, get excited about dinner, and then their entire body would explode from a gunshot that came through a wall they were hiding behind. Ambush predators getting ambushed. Irony at its finest. Kill after kill after kill. My stats were rocketing upward. 450, 540, 540, 1170, then, golden glow. Level 8. New passive draw. Mythical passive, kinetic barrier. Every kill stores 1 layer of shield. Each layer blocks 1 hit completely. No limit on layers. Auto-activates when attacked. A personal force field that grows every time I kill something? In a dungeon full of things to kill? Let me do quick math. I'd killed hundreds of monsters tonight. If I'd had this passive from the start, I'd have hundreds of shields stacked, each one absorbing a full hit. I'd be wrapped in more layers of protection than bubble wrap at a moving company. But it starts at 0 now, so time to stack. I spotted 2 spiders sneaking through a side passage. Sensed them easily. Boom. Both dead. Kinetic barrier. 2 layers. Then I did something insane. Deliberately. A 3rd spider lunged at me from the dark. Razor legs aimed at my chest, dripping with poison that could melt steel. I stood completely still. Its claw hit me, and, ripple, a faint shimmer appeared and vanished. The attack bounced off like it hit an invisible wall. 0 damage. Not a scratch. Kinetic barrier consumed. 1 layer. Remaining, 1. The spider froze in confusion. Stabbed a human. Human didn't die. Human didn't even move. I looked at it with what I imagined was the most terrifying, expression it had ever seen. Boom. Spider paste. Works perfectly. Infinite ammo. Infinite range. Infinite damage scaling. Armor penetration. Instant kill mechanics. Full heal on kill. Permanent health growth. Superhuman senses. And now a regenerating damage shield. If this were a video game, the developers would have patched me out 3 updates ago. For the next 30 minutes, the level 9 zone became my personal farm. Nothing survived. Nothing could survive. My perception net caught everything. My damage deleted everything. My shield absorbed the rare lucky hit. My health restored itself constantly. Level 9. 55 thousandths. New passive draw. Mythical passive, ballistic warp. Your bullets can perform one short-range spatial teleport based on your mental command. Ignores physical barriers. Higher perception equals more precise control. I read that 3 times. My bullets can teleport. I can think, go around that corner, and the bullet will literally jump through space to hit something I can't even see in a straight line. Hide behind a wall. Bullet warps past it. Duck behind cover. Bullet appears on the other side. My perception stat, currently astronomical, determines how accurately I can steer them. So let me get this straight. I can now sense enemies through walls from 100 meters away and shoot bullets that teleport around obstacles to reach them. There is no such thing as cover anymore. There is no hiding. There is no safe distance. If I know where you are, and I always know where you are, a bullet is coming. Through the wall, around the corner, past the ceiling, doesn't matter. I have become the world's most unfair human being. And I'm only level 9. I had to test this immediately. 50 meters ahead, a level 9 spider was peeking around a massive rock column. Just half a head visible. A completely impossible shot for any normal gun. The rock blocked everything. I pulled out the Nova P1. Didn't even aim properly. Just pointed in the general direction, focused my mind on the spider's weak point behind the rock, and squeezed. Bang! The bullet left the barrel and vanished. Just gone. Disappeared from physical reality. Then, behind the rock, the spider's head exploded. A hole appeared in its skull from absolutely nowhere. Its eyes still had that confused, wait, what? Look as its body toppled off the ledge and crashed to the ground. The bullet had teleported through space, around a solid rock pillar, and hit the exact spot I was thinking about. Cover is no longer a concept that applies to my enemies. Walls, rocks, pillars, bunkers, meaningless. If I can sense you, you're already dead. The bullet will find you. Through, around, or apparently through the fabric of space itself. I took a deep, satisfied breath and smiled the smile of a man who has completely broken the laws of physics. From this day forward, nothing in the world can hide from my gun. Meanwhile, in a completely different tunnel, Meng Tao's crew was having the worst day. Heal him. Zhang Lei is dying. 2, just 2, level 9 bloodthirst spiders had his elite squad on the edge of total collapse. Zhang Lei's expensive armor was cracked like an eggshell, shoulder plate ripped off, blood everywhere. The healer was out of mana, voice cracking. I can't. I'm empty. Useless. All of you, Meng Tao screamed, dodging a spider leg. Those mana potions cost 50,000 each. Drink them. His team wanted to strangle him. This was his fault. He'd picked the most dangerous route trying to speedrun the dungeon, burned through everyone's supplies, and now they were getting demolished by 2 spiders that I would have killed in literally 1 trigger pull. Then, Salvation walked in. Lin Yue. White dress. Not a speck of dirt. Looking like she'd just come from a tea party instead of a monster-infested cave. She casually flicked an ice crystal at one of the spiders and froze it solid, giving Zhang Lei a breather. Her team was tired but intact. Compared to Meng Tao's walking disaster squad, they looked like magazine models. Meng Tao saw his dream girl, and his brain immediately switched from survival mode to peacock mode. 2 seconds ago, he was cursing his teammates. Now he was puffing his chest out and trying to look heroic. Everyone hold the line, he roared, launching himself at a spider in the most reckless charge I've ever heard described, purely because Manyu was watching. His teammates nearly had collective aneurysms. This man was going to get them all killed to impress a girl. He burned through their remaining potions, each one worth tens of thousands of credits, like they were water. His team wanted to cry. They wanted to scream. They wanted to go home. But Meng family money was their leash, and they couldn't say no. 2 spiders finally went down. Everyone collapsed, gasping. Meng Tao snuck away, and tried his communicator. You on 3? You on 4? Report. Static. Cold, empty static. His smile melted like ice cream in July. The twins weren't answering. Professional assassins who never missed a check-in were silent. A chill ran up his spine. Could they possibly have failed against a level 6 F rank? No. Impossible. They were B rank killers with enhanced stealth. Against a gunslinger, it was the easiest job in the world. But the static kept hissing, like it was laughing at him. Before the panic could fully set in, a familiar perfume reached his nose. Lin Yue had glided over, standing close, very close, looking at him with those beautiful eyes, just the right amount of concern mixed with something warmer. Meng Tao, you seem troubled. Everything okay? Fine. Just a small thing. Ha. She didn't push, just smiled. That devastating, heart-melting smile. Then she stepped even closer, close enough that he could smell her hair. This exam's first place is very important to me, she murmured. I need the Spider Queen's first kill. Meng Tao forgot how oxygen worked. She reached out one delicate finger and traced a scratch on his armor. Slowly, deliberately. If you help me get that first kill, her voice dropped to a whisper, that I wouldn't mind being your girlfriend. Nuclear detonation inside Meng Tao's skull. Girlfriend. Lin Yue. His girlfriend. The S-rank goddess. The #1 beauty. Said yes. Every rational thought. The missing assassins, the danger ahead, the F-rank kid who might still be alive, evaporated like morning dew on the surface of the sun. For you, I would die 1,000 deaths. He literally screamed this. Then activated some kind of berserker ultimate ability, started glowing like a human flashlight, and charged down the tunnel toward the remaining spiders like a man possessed, dragging his crying teammates behind him. His squad was sobbing internally. More potions burned, more health shaved off, more money wasted. All because their boss's brain had been completely hijacked by a pretty girl whispering promises. And behind them all, watching Meng Tao's glowing, screaming, lovesick rampage disappeared down the tunnel, Lin Yue's sweet smile quietly froze into something cold and sharp. She had him exactly where she wanted him. A loyal attack dog, burning himself alive for a reward she had zero intention of giving. That girl scared me more than any spider in this dungeon, and she didn't even know I was still alive. The final chamber opened up before me like a cathedral designed by nightmares. Football fields wide, ceiling so high it disappeared into darkness. Giant stalactites draped in pulsing egg sacs the size of refrigerators. Every surface coated in web so thick you could bounce on it. And in the center, sitting on a web the size of a city block, the Spider Queen. She was the size of a heavy truck. Purple-black armored shell covered in glowing magical runes. 8 legs like steel lances. And her head, hundreds of crimson eyes, all burning, all turning to look at me the exact moment I walked in. Spider Queen Protos. C-rank Lord. Level 10. Health. 100%. Defense. Skills. All question marks. The system couldn't even scan her properly because she was a full rank above me. C-rank Lord in a D-rank dungeon. The exam designers were not messing around with the final boss. She screamed. Not a normal scream. A sonic weapon. The sound physically cracked rocks overhead. Debris rained down. And every egg sac on the ceiling burst open simultaneously, pouring out thousands of tiny spiders that combined into a black tidal wave rushing toward me. Very dramatic. Very cinematic. I didn't move. Didn't take a single step. Just stood at the entrance, raised my Nova P1, and pointed it at the Spider Queen 100 meters away. Here's where things get fun. Transcendent perception plus weakness gaze activated together. The Queen's body became semi-transparent in my vision. I could see everything, muscles, bones, blood vessels, the flow of energy through her system, like a magical X-ray. And there, deep inside her chest where the thorax met the abdomen, behind layers of armor that no conventional weapon could penetrate, a glowing orb. Pulsing, bright, her magic energy core, the heart of all her power, her ultimate weak point, buried under impenetrable shell. Good thing my bullets don't care about shells anymore. Shot 1. Bang. Bullet vanished from the barrel, teleported directly inside the Queen's body, past her armor, past her muscles, appeared right on top of a tiny energy node connected to the core and detonated. The Queen lurched, screeched in confusion. Her armor was untouched. No crack, no mark, no entry wound. But inside, something had just hit her in a place nothing should be able to reach. She thrashed around, scanning everywhere, completely unable to figure out what was attacking her. "Ma'am, the call is coming from inside the building." Shot 2. Bang. Same trick. Bullet warped into the damaged zone from shot 1, hit the destabilized energy node dead center. The Queen's internal power system went haywire. Energy started ricocheting inside her like a pinball machine having a seizure. She froze, every leg locked, her whole body trembling as the chain reaction built. Now, shot 3. Weakness gaze guaranteed critical. Every single passive ion stacked on one bullet. Penetration, damage amplification at 238%, instant kill trigger, ballistic warp. Bang. The bullet materialized directly inside her magic core. The Queen went rigid. Every sound stopped. Then, from inside her chest, a light appeared. Small at first, then brighter and brighter, like a star being born inside her body. Tum. No explosion, just a deep, heavy sound. And the Spider Queen, this mountain of armor and fury and teeth, simply came apart. Her body dissolved from the inside out, collapsing into golden light particles that floated through the cavern like fireflies. 3 shots, 1 pistol, from the entrance, without moving a single step. Killed C-rank Lord, Spider Queen Protoss. EXP 10,000, new passive draw available. The baby spider tidal wave, that terrifying army of thousands, instantly lost cohesion. Without their queen, they just popped, burst into light like soap bubbles. Where the Queen died, the floor was covered in glowing loot. And not trash loot, good loot, including a spatial storage bracelet. C-rank quality, worth at least 400,000 credits. A wearable pocket dimension for carrying stuff. I slipped it on my wrist, waved my hand, and vacuumed every piece of loot off the ground in one smooth motion. Then I heard footsteps. Lots of them. Coming fast. Manyu, we're almost there. I'm going to get you that first kill. Meng Tao, screaming with the enthusiasm of a man whose brain had been replaced with pure simp energy. I stood in the empty boss room, hands at my sides, facing the entrance, waiting. 2 full squads burst in, Meng Tao's battered crew and Manyu's pristine team. 10 people total, armed to the teeth, hyped up, ready for the fight of their lives. They saw an empty cave, broken egg sacks, 0 spiders, 0 boss, 0 anything, and me, standing alone in the middle, turning slowly to face them. Meng Tao's victory smile crumbled like a sandcastle in a tsunami. Manyu's carefully maintained composure cracked for the first time all day. Those beautiful manipulative eyes went genuinely, authentically wide. Dead silence. 10 people. 0 brain cells currently functioning. Lin Yue. Meng Tao's face went through so many emotions in 1 second, it looked like a slot machine. Excitement, confusion, disbelief, then volcanic rage. How are you here? Where's the Spider Queen? I stood there in the empty room where a C-rank Lord used to be. Loot already pocketed. Not a scratch on me. I didn't answer. Didn't need to. The empty room said everything. You? How are you here? Meng Tao's voice cracked so hard it went up 3 octaves. His face was the color of a fire truck having an allergic reaction. Behind him, 10 people stood frozen. His squad. Manyu's squad. Every single one beaten up, potions depleted, armor cracked, looking like they'd crawled through a blender. They'd spent hours fighting through level 9 territory, burning through supplies worth more than most people's houses, losing blood and dignity at every turn. All for one purpose, the Spider Queen's first kill. And they'd walked into an empty room. No queen, no spiders, no eggs, no nothing. Just me, standing in the middle of the world's most anticlimactic boss arena, hands in my pockets. Meng Tao's brain tried to process this and immediately filed a complaint. Where is the Spider Queen? You must have lured it away somehow. Some dirty trick. In his mind, that was the only explanation that made sense. F-rank Gunslinger kills C-rank Lord solo. Absolutely not. I must have used some shady item to bait it into another tunnel. Cheated. Exploited. Something. Anything but the truth. Behind him, Manyu was thinking harder. And scarier thoughts were forming in that calculating head of hers. Lure it away? Lords are territorial. They don't just wander off because someone waved a treat. The only way this room would be empty is if the Queen was dead. Killed by Lin Yue. She rejected the thought instantly. SHE was an S-rank elemental saintess. Even with her full team, she wasn't 100% sure she could beat this boss. How could he, the F-rank garbage she'd grown up looking down on, possibly accomplish what she couldn't guarantee? Impossible. Absurd. Laughable. Except the room was empty, and I was standing in it. Answer me, Meng Tao screamed, sword pointing at me, hand shaking. Where did the boss go? His crew fanned out behind him, circling me. Battle-scarred faces twisted with frustration. They didn't fight through hell for an empty cave. I turned around slowly, looked at them all. These elites, covered in blood and spider gunk, exhausted, furious, desperate. Then I pointed at the ground beneath my feet. A few golden sparkles still floated in the air, the last fading traces of a dead boss dissolving into light. It's dead, flat voice. No drama, like telling someone the weather. Dead? Meng Tao's face contorted, then he burst into hysterical laughter. Ha ha ha. You think I'm stupid? You expect me to believe you killed the Spider Queen? An F-rank, yellow hair and red hair joined the comedy hour. What did he kill it with? His feelings? That F-rank pea-shooter couldn't scratch a level 1 spider. At least make the lie believable, dude. Lin Yue didn't laugh. She just stared at me, scanning for any sign of bluffing, any twitch, any crack, any hint that I was lying. She found nothing. I stood there like a wall. Steady. Calm. Bored, honestly. Believe what you want, I said. You're late. First kill is mine. The laughter stopped like someone pulled a plug. Meng Tao's face went from amused to murderous in a heartbeat. Last chance, Lin Yue. Tell me where the boss is. Or I'll make you tell me. His blue sword flared. Full A-rank aura unleashed. He was actually going to attack me right here, right now. I looked at him and almost laughed. The guy sent assassins after me. The assassins are spider food. He spent his team's entire supply of potions trying to impress a girl who was manipulating him like a puppet. His grand plan was to help Lin Yue get first kill in exchange for a relationship she was never going to honor. And now he was standing in an empty room, screaming at the person who already took everything he wanted. Why would I waste words explaining anything to this clown? So I just stood there, silent, looking at him with the emotional investment of someone watching paint dry. That silence, that complete, utter refusal to even acknowledge his threats, drove him to the breaking point. Fine, I'll deal with you first, then find the boss. He raised his sword, and the floor lit up. Silver-white teleportation circles appeared under everyone's feet simultaneously. A warm glow wrapped around each person, and an unstoppable spatial pull grabbed hold. Newcomer exam time expired. All participants will be teleported out in 10 seconds. No, Meng Tao howled into the void. 10 more seconds. 10. That's all he needed to run his sword through me. The universe couldn't give him 10 lousy seconds. Lin Yue's composure finally shattered. Her entire elaborate plan, seduce Meng Tao, use him as a weapon, claim the Spider Queen kill, secure first place, cement her position as Xinjiang's top genius. All of it collapsed into dust. Because of me. The waste she'd thrown out of her house like yesterday's garbage. The light grew brighter. Our bodies started turning transparent. In the last moment before the teleport took us, I looked at them both through my helmet visor. Lin Yue, Meng Tao, the princess and the simp, both staring at me with enough hatred to fuel a power plant. I looked back with the expression of someone who'd already forgotten their names. No, even less than that. Like 2 flies buzzing near my ear. Mildly annoying. Completely irrelevant. White light swallowed everything. White light faded. Solid ground under my feet. Sunlight hit my eyes like a flashbang. I was back outside the arena. Thousands of people everywhere. Students, parents, teachers, reporters, recruiters from every major faction in the country. Total chaos. Meng Tao materialized about 30 meters away and immediately went full rabid dog. Where is he? Where's that waste? His teammates were physically restraining him. Bro, there are cameras here. He spotted me, broke free, and charged over. Got right in my face. I don't care what tricks you used. The Spider Queen's first kill belongs to us. You're going to march up to the examiner and confess that you cheated, or I swear I'll. He never finished that sentence. Because the giant screen on the stadium wall lit up. Look, the final rankings. Every single eyeball in that plaza swiveled upward. Names and scores cascading down the screen like a waterfall. Thousands of contestants sorted, ranked, judged. The countdown began from the bottom. People cheering when they spotted their names. Groans of disappointment. Screams of joy. 10th place. Zhang Family Squad. 8,530 points. Climbing higher. The numbers getting bigger. 3rd place. Zhao Family Squad. 32,400 points. 2nd place. Meng Family Squad. 35,600 points. The crowd buzzed. Meng Tao puffed up slightly despite everything. 2nd place. Not bad for the family honor. If Meng's 2nd, then 1st has to be Lu Manyu, right? Obviously. S-rank goddess. Who else could it be? Lu Manyu forever. Manyu heard the crowd chanting her name, and the shadow on her face lifted just a fraction. A tiny smile crept back. Even without the Spider Queen kill, surely her S-rank abilities and all those high-level kills had earned her enough points for 1st. Surely. The 1st place slot glowed gold. The text loaded slowly, dramatically, like the system itself wanted maximum impact. 1st place. Lin Yue. Individual score, 158,800 points. You know that moment in movies where a record scratches and everything goes quiet? That happened. To an entire plaza. Tens of thousands of people. Simultaneously. Dead. Silence. Every jaw on that plaza hit the floor at the exact same time. I'm surprised there wasn't an earthquake. Lin Yue. Individual score. Meaning solo. One person. 158,800 points. 2nd place. A 5-person elite squad with millions in gear. Scored 35,000. I scored more than 4 times that. Alone. Am I reading that right? 158,000. Is the system broken? Who is Lin Yue? Which family? Which school? Wait, where's Lu Manyu? She's not even in the top 10. Someone found her name. Way below 10th. The S-rank prodigy. The guaranteed 1st place. The girl everyone was chanting for 30 seconds ago. Not even top 10. Manyu saw it at the same moment the crowd did. Her face went from hopeful to corpse white so fast, it was almost medical. The plaza erupted into absolute bedlam. In the VIP section, university recruiters were having collective meltdowns. The head recruiter from Dragon Capital University, glasses, expensive suit, probably never ran anywhere in his life, was sprinting toward his assistant. Find me everything on Lin Yue. Birth certificate to breakfast preferences. 3 minutes. War God Academy 2. Whatever it costs, get him. Arcane Martial University wants in. These people who normally sat in leather chairs judging teenagers from a distance were now tripping over each other like shoppers at a Black Friday sale. Across the plaza, Lu Jinxiong was schmoozing with association executives, waiting to celebrate his daughter's triumph. He looked up at the screen. His smile died. Lin Yue. 1st place. The kid he called useless. The kid he threw out at midnight with 2,000 yuan. The kid whose dead parents saved his life. That Lin Yue. Individual score. Meaning he did it alone. With the trash profession, the F-rank gunslinger that would never amount to anything. 158,000 points. I watched the color drain from Lu Jinxiong's face from across the plaza. It was like watching a balloon deflate in slow motion. His association colleagues were already giving him that look. The look that says, so the kid you publicly disowned just became the biggest story in the city. How's that working out for you? Executive Lu. Isn't that Lin Yue? Your adopted son? One of them asked with surgical precision. His face turned a shade of purple I didn't know humans could achieve. Meng Tao was standing next to me, mouth hanging open, arm still raised from pointing at the screen. No sound coming out. His brain had blue-screened. The Spider Queen's 1st kill was worth 100,000 points alone. That meant my other kills, just the regular grinding, had earned nearly 60,000 points by themselves. More than his entire elite squad's total. Combined. He finally understood. The empty boss room. My calm voice saying, it's dead. The missing assassins who never reported back. All of it was real. Manyu bit her lip so hard it should have bled. She deliberately held back on scoring early, saving her energy for the Spider Queen kill that would cement her as number 1. Her entire strategy depended on that final boss. And I'd taken it. With 3 pistol shots. Before she even arrived. Her S-rank title, the thing that made everyone worship her, had just become the punchline of the biggest joke in Xinjiang City. I looked at the screen. Saw my name in gold. 158,800 points. Felt nothing. No, that's not true. I felt hungry. I hadn't eaten since yesterday. I turned around and started walking away. Mr. Lin Yue, please wait. The Dragon Capital University recruiter practically teleported in front of me, blocking my path with the desperation of a man whose entire quarterly performance review depended on the next 30 seconds.